language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The best coverage of the Big Ten Media Days in Omaha is right here on 1620 The Zone. Join me, Gary Sharp, live from Big Ten Media Days, Wednesday and Thursday at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis during Sharp and Hanley in the morning. Then join the Connor Happer Show and Unsportsmanlike Conduct for even more coverage of everything you need to know from Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis. 1620 The Zone's Big Ten Media Days coverage is brought to you by our good friends from Fremont Roofing and PB&J Welding. We'll talk to you on Wednesday and Thursday from Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
Now the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Are you ready for the Josh Odson show?
No.
Just coming your way. You're not? Josh, it's your show.
I have to be, don't I?
Yep. I'm hoping you're prepared for this.
Yeah. Why not?
How many questions in the last 72 hours have you gotten about Barbenheimer? I know you didn't do it in the same day, but you have seen both.
Question.
You've seen
yes,
both.
I have now seen both. I don't know the exact number. Around a dozen. Around a dozen people have asked me how one, the other, or both are.
So you gave me the first positive review of Barbie. I've only talked to 2 people who saw it over the weekend, and both were underwhelmed by it.
Really?
Yeah. And again, I didn't ask them what their expectation level was. So that could have been a them problem. It could have been like when we went into Cocaine Bear, thinking this thing is going to win an Oscar. If you do that, you're going to be disappointed. Yeah?
Sure.
So I feel like is it fair to say if you have measured expectations, you're going to be just fine with Barbie? Or will it exceed if you have measured expectations?
If you go in thinking that this is going to be like a Legally Blonde or a Clueless, you're going to have a great time.
Okay.
If you go in thinking that this is going to be the movie that changes the world, you're going to have a bad time. I mean, there's dueling 90% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and the audience. So the rare agreement between those two vastly different groups of people.
Yeah. And you brought up Clueless, which I think is a fantastic flick. So if it's
one of my favorites,
if it's on that level, all right, maybe there is hope for me. I still don't know if I'm make a priority to see that in the theater. Oppenheimer, I think, is something that we're going to hit up next week.
Okay.
So
yes,
I'm excited about that one.
Given the 2, I would urge people to go see that more. That's more important to see in a theater.
Yes.
Than Barbie.
Yeah, the Barbie one. And I know my wife has been talking about maybe going to see Barbie with some of her friends. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
You do that. Let me know. And if it's on the streaming service in the near future, I'll give it a whirl.
You catch it on Max in a couple of months.
Yeah, I'll watch it on Max.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little movie night. That'll be just fine.
Yeah.
We were getting into this conversation about, as Connor and Gary are descending on Indianapolis, we got some of our local media contingent that is also hitting the roadways and getting over to Indianapolis. So we got into the snack game.
Ooh.
And what is a must. And I don't know where your stance is on car snacks, but this was, I thought, kind of a bold strategy by our good friend Brian Christopherson and Michael Bruntz, that they don't really pack anything. They wait till they get to the first gas station, and then they sort of peruse the selection, and then they go about it that way. Is that something that now you as a father as well, do you need to have the pre-planned snacks that are already in the car when you take off, or are you willing to maybe have the bare minimum and then go all in when you get to the next, like the first gas stop?
Little bit of both. We'll do the pre-planned snacks for the kid. We got to have the goldfish, the mini muffins ready to go, because as soon as we're out of the driveway, I want a snack.
Your son sounds like Harry Carey.
Yes.
Hey,
wash it down with a nice cold Budweiser. But for myself, for the wife, I like a different gas station. I like walking up and down the aisles. Even the paper towel aisle. I'm walking up and down that. I want to go every aisle. Show me what you got. Mysterious
wait.
gas station.
The paper towel aisle?
The weird, like a can of Campbell's soup. Hey, they got Dinty Moore here, honey. Like, it's amazing that
I want some beef stew.
If we wanted to, we could buy some Campbell's Chunky Soup right here. Sure, it's 40 cents higher than at the grocery store, but this is right here, right now.
Does our hotel room have a can opener? Did we get the extended stay place where we got a stove?
Yeah.
Well, we can get some soup then.
And then I'll usually just buy Twizzlers and a Red Bull.
Okay.
Like I would if I was going to the home convenience store.
Now, Brian brought up cherry nibs. I cannot remember the last. Do they still make those?
They do.
Okay.
We buy them frequently at the Odson household.
I have not had cherry nibs for. It's probably going on almost 20 years here. I did bring up combos because when we were coming back from the bachelor party not too long ago, combos has always been a staple, and maybe it was because this was just a bad bag that had been out past its expiration, but they were awful. And I just wanted the simple cheese and cracker, which I don't know how you screw that up unless, again, it's been compromised as like stale, but it tasted kind of flavorless, kind of stale. If I didn't know any better, I thought, do I have the vid? Because I'm not tasting anything right now. This is not not good. But then I just realized it's a bad batch of combos. That really disappointed me because combos, no matter where we were going or how long we're going to be in the car, combos and corn nuts were a staple. And these combos were terrible.
So in my head, I like combos. I buy them and I eat them. It is wildly different from time to time. And I don't understand how a product that is so mass produced can taste so different
Pretty
from
basic,
bag to bag.
We're talking about like a couple simple ingredients here.
Yeah.
You give me a pretzel and peanut butter, the pizza one, and then the cracker and cheese.
Yeah. I don't understand.
It was very disappointing. The other thing that that I would have to have in the car, I would always be a sunflower seeds guy. But that unless you're the passenger the whole way, spitting in the cup, not always the easiest thing to do while you're driving.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's kind of inconvenient. And then if you do go a certain amounts of miles, boy, the inside of your cheek, it gets raw.
It does.
Yep. And so it's not always the greatest thing to do.
That's why I was so excited that those Chinook seeds from the College World Series, they don't do that.
They don't like raw up your mouth?
Yeah, they don't raw up your mouth.
Okay.
It's amazing. Like, it's just a sunflower seed. How different could it be? Those were like, they're not paying me to say this. It's incredibly different mouth feel than other sunflower seeds.
Yeah. I might have to try those. By the way, I got this question a month ago, and I forgot to follow up with you on this. Did you ever get your ring?
Funny you mentioned that because over the weekend, while I was on vacation, I got a text that the ring ceremony for the very few players that are still on campus.
Yeah.
A lot of turnover in Council Bluffs this fall.
Well, that happens with junior college football, I suppose.
Yes. It's going to be in the middle of August.
Okay.
We've decided to use the ring ceremony for content on the Connor Happer show. So there will be an in-studio delivery.
Yes. So you got measured and everything. I mean, they got the right ring size.
I sent them my ring size. I'm pretty sure it's right.
Okay.
They said, "Hey, that's a little small. Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure."
So it might actually go on your son's finger.
Maybe.
So, did you see a mock-up at all of this thing?
I haven't.
Okay,
I
so it's going to be a total surprise.
I do know that, well, a lot of champions at Iowa Western.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
true.
Recently volleyball, esports. A lot of esports titles at Iowa Western.
I don't know whether to be proud of that or just to shake my head.
And there's no wrong answer. In the hotel lobby, the night of the championship, a lot of the players and coaches commented, well, our ring has to be bigger than the esports team's
It does.
ring.
Yes, it does. I 100% agree with that.
No shade to the Call of Duty crowd, but football is king.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Know your place.
The expectations are a little high.
Okay.
Now, I don't think it's going to twist off and become a pendant or anything like that, but
I want to know who's the ring manufacturer, because I remember I believe on this crossover, I was kind of bagging on Jostens because I thought all they did was class rings. I know they did our class ring back in 1997. And then to learn that they did the Kansas City Chiefs one. I didn't think that they dabbled into the high end championship ring making business, but apparently they do.
Now, weird flex, but okay. I'd have to dig into the safe deposit box and look at the 2012 national.
Oh, you mean your
other
ring,
national championship ring that I have.
Do you ever wear it?
I wear it. I try to wear it to national championship games.
Okay,
that's when I wear it.
And you see games plural, meaning
they've been
to a few.
Been to a few. They have.
That's good.
I believe Jostens did that one.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like the local dealer, aren't they?
There's must be a good Jostens.
Yes,
in town.
Jostens doesn't just do your senior class rings.
That's what they should advertise.
That should be. Yeah, we don't just do class rings.
Yeah. We do so much more.
Yeah,
this and this and this.
Because I thought like Tiffany's was a big player. I know Dave Tolson, who you know.
I do.
His 2 Super Bowl rings were Tiffany's. But again, that's out of New York. Probably makes sense out on the East Coast. So, yeah. But good on Jostens. But, yeah, this is exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Can they do it during the crossover?
I mean, I could text them and tell them.
Or do we want to make this a Connor Happer, Josh Odson specific segment? Yeah, we don't need to be a part of that. That's your moment.
I don't know how much. I don't know who's coming. I don't know how many
Stroh
people
coming?
are coming.
That'd be pretty baller if Stroh just comes on in, and he might as well just, while he's here, jump on the microphone, talk about the team.
Yeah. How was camp?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be quarterback?
Because that is a week before. So that'd be basically week 0, right? Is when Iowa Western gets going.
Yes.
Yeah. Just something about being able to go into a season after a ring ceremony. I just like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they got their first game. They had the ring ceremony the other night. You know that because they won a national championship and all.
Because they shut out the opposing team in the national championship.
Yeah, just good things right there.
Yeah, I believe this is right about 2 weeks before their first game at Dodge City.
Oh, speaking of that, so this is usually the time of year where I get into football viewing documentaries or whatnot. And did you watch any of the quarterback?
I watched 3 of them.
Okay.
I haven't gone back yet.
So you got to hear Mahomes yelling at his dog in the background.
Yes.
Hey, you dogs. Did you say that?
We're trying to record here.
So I did get through that. This is where I start to rewatch a lot of Last Chance U. And so last year I rewatched the EMCC one.
Okay.
This year I'll get back into the Indy one.
Oh,
which is exactly. I can't help myself. This will be the 3rd time I've watched it, both seasons 1 and 2, because of the train wreck effect.
Oh, he's a train wreck. I cannot look away.
Is he doing anything?
He's selling I'm sure, fine whiskey.
Oh, that's right. And yes, I'm sure it's high end.
Yes.
Is he doing podcasts with like Zach Smith? I feel like those two should be together.
They belong together.
Yeah, they do. If he's not, he's missing out on an opportunity. And both of them, I think they're perfect for each other.
Who does host the, I believe it's the, can I say Slap Nuts?
You can.
on the radio?
I believe you can.
I believe that's the podcast.
It's the Slap Nuts podcast. I know the Zach Smith one is the menace to sports.
Oh, yeah.
He's a menace to sports because it started out as menace to society, and I think there was a problem with that title. I think he didn't get the proper clearance. Zach Smith just kind of did things as he saw fit. He didn't really look for approval, whether that was having sex toys delivered to the football office, for gag gifts. He just kind of did his own thing. He's Zach Smith. He's related to a legend.
I owe Coach Brown an apology. It is no longer the Slap Nuts podcast.
No, it's not. Okay.
It's the Coach JB show. It's a much classier operation than you're used to.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the content is a lot more refined and probably a lot of mature conversations taking place about his football experiences.
Him and Big Smitty.
Big Smitty.
Every weekday.
Nice. So, we're almost done with the show. I could probably start tuning in live. I might need to check out those podcasts because I'm sure it's good football. Actually, does he do a lot on sports gambling? I thought maybe he had something to do. I can't remember.
It would not shock me at all if Jason Brown was involved in gambling. Yes.
Yeah. The episode where they are playing Iowa Western, where he gets tossed, and I'm sure you remember that game. In fact, I remember I was going to go to that game. We had something come up later in the day where he couldn't make that game, but I wanted to go. And yeah, I'll admit part of it was because they were there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so there was a little bit of a draw to that. But Iowa Western was obviously having a good season, like most seasons. I love in the docuseries, in a way, it kind of gave Iowa Western free, good publicity of, here's how you don't coach a football program. And here's how you do coach a football program, where Jason Brown is like losing his crap over his guys like not getting lined up correctly and guys that are, coming close to the sideline. And then it goes to Stroh on the side. He's like, hey guys, can you back up, please? Thank you. And Jason's like, oh, you slap, whatever, and it's just like, okay, here's a guy who's got it together and his track record would indicate that. And here's a guy who is living on the edge, who's on a thread right now. And in a way, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is why Iowa Western would be a really bad subject for Last Chance U, because it doesn't give you train wreck reality TV drama.
Very little makes that man squirm, but asking him, hey, would you ever consider being on Last Chance U just to show the opposite side of, how a JUCO football program is run? You can just see his spine like curve and he tinges like, no, absolutely not. We don't want that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. You can have all the free publicity in the world. We don't want that.
Yeah. I don't blame them, especially if you're a program that prides itself on doing it the right way. Like, did you watch the last one? I think it's Laney College in San Francisco.
No, I haven't watched.
Oh no, they're in Oakland. Sorry, they're in Oakland. That one was actually kind of refreshing because it was a longtime coach, seemed to be a really good guy, did things the right way, was kind of a pillar of that community as well because he'd been there for so long, got some guys to the league, but he wasn't someone that like beat his chest about it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't any more drama than I think most junior college programs are just naturally going to have, or most just football programs are naturally going to have.
Yeah.
And so at least they ended the football one on a higher note of pretty respectable head coach, seems to be in it for the right reasons. Players seem to respond in kind. That was actually kind of rewarded. And I got to admit, it was kind of boring. It was kind of boring. Like, I appreciated it, but it's like, I want to see a guy just absolutely losing his blank. I want to see somebody getting thrown out of games. I want to see a coach that is like trying to fight refs, which Buddy Stevens was doing too.
Yeah, that absolutely makes for better television.
It does. And this is why Iowa Western should never be on Last Chance U. But yeah, I'll get into it just because I like Trainwreck TV. I'll get back into Jason Brown and be the greatest what if story. If it only would have worked out differently for Jason Brown. Could he have been on the sidelines in Lincoln? Would he have been hireable?
What if he would have not been a maniacal jackass?
Yeah. Well, What would the response be like as Matt Rule is announcing his new staff? And he's got a lot of analysts.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and and Jason Brown.
Jason Brown, special teams coordinator.
Yeah, we really think Jason Brown is going to be a positive addition to this coaching staff. Like that would be something. Because that was his thing. I remember in the episodes of talking about how, he was curious if coaches would give him a chance because all he needs is a chance with a Power 5 school, and he'd be able to have a positive impact. I feel like Jason Brown getting into a lot of fights with other coaches. Like if Jason Brown was like on the Bo Pelini coaching staff, how many fights would Bo Pelini and Jason Brown get into? I think a lot.
Now that I would love to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he was like special teams coordinator or O-line coach and the defense gave up 50, he'd absolutely walk into those defensive meeting rooms and go, hey, you guys gave up 50 today. Makes it hard for the rest of us to do our jobs.
Yep. Oh,
it'd be on.
There'd be fights, and it would be amazing. So I can't get away from that stuff. I think a lot of us are. We're just naturally attracted to that. But yeah, it's something that it's kind of an annual thing now, a tradition of I'll watch any type of football docuseries leading up to the season, get you kind of fired up for it. But there's just not a lot of good college ones. I mean, we have the JUCO one, but we don't have a lot of college football ones.
Have you ever watched I don't even know what it's called, but the one on Amazon? It's just like Hard Knocks, but I think they did the Cardinals.
Yes.
1 year.
Yeah.
How
what the heck is that called? It's good.
Nothing?
Yeah, All or Nothing. There you go. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. The Hard Knocks and see that's the Hard Knocks thing. It's been kind of watered down.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about this on the show with Gary that you get so many organizations now kind of doing their own version of Hard Knocks because they can control everything. They can control the content that's going out. And so Hard Knocks is probably in its final leg here. And now that you are, and this is the thing that I'm really confused on. If Hard Knocks says we want to follow your team, I don't get this whole, well, you've got to do it. Like if the Jets didn't want to do it, if Robert Saleh didn't want to do it, why are they doing it? And if you're Hard Knocks, why the hell would you want that? If you have a team that you're following that is openly and publicly saying, we don't want to do this, why would you want to attach yourself to them? Because you're going to have crap content. They're not going to give you anything.
Yeah, they're not going to give you anything. The Jets are telling them what they can and can't film. Right. And I understand nobody wants to do it at this point because we've done it for so long.
Yeah.
But I understand you want Aaron Rodgers and that you want that story, but you got to find someone that's more willing.
Right.
Right. Like, hey, okay, we'll play ball, whatever.
Yeah, like look at some of the teams. Like I wouldn't be shocked if like Pete Carroll in Seattle, a team that looks like they could have maybe a pretty decent season this year, but you don't have to worry about the Russ effect anymore. But Pete Carroll's kind of I don't know, he's kind of zany guy like that. Like I could see him having fun with it. I could see, and I think the Lions were up for it, but I could see Dan Campbell also being a guy that could see some upside to it. I understand the intrigue of the Jets, given the market, given Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot about that that's attractive. But if they're not going to give you anything, why would you want to go through all of that for something that on the surface would be really good, but they're not going to give you access to it? So what's the point of it?
What if they followed Roger Goodell around?
See, I think that would be even more interesting.
Like, obviously, there's places we're not going to be able to go, but
Hard Knocks front office.
Yeah, he'd give follow front office around, or I don't know, not the social media team, but like the events ops team inside a stadium. Like this is what it takes to get a stadium ready for.
Your game day presentation. Like your game day ops, all of that. Like you could do that for a year because I just feel for Hard Knocks, they need something that's a little bit more fresh because now everybody's sort of taking what they did, and they did it very well. I've got to give them credit,
sure,
but they're taking it into their own. Each organization's like, well, yeah, kind of to your point of why are they going to do it now? And a lot of them are saying, why are they going to do it? Because they have now their own social media content, their own like all access type content for all their fans. And they get to put out anything that they want to. And it's not that much of a burden because it's their own people. So they know who to trust. They don't, it's not a big it's not a big bother because you don't have all these different staged cameras and all these different settings. So you're not worried about that. So if you're going to do something to keep sort of the Hard Knocks thing going, like do something along the lines of, okay, let's follow around the NFL offices. Who knows? Maybe you get the year that they have to make a major decision. Maybe there's another major gambling suspension and how the enforcement deals with certain investigations and whatnot. Maybe they'll let you in on a little bit of that, because I think for the NFL, they claim that they want transparency when it comes to how their dealings, whether we're talking about enforcement or just always looking for the next big thing, overseas as far as getting their product exposed. I feel like they want some transparency in what they're doing. So wouldn't you think that they would let a lot of the cameras in on that?
Yeah, I would love to see follow around a play-by-play guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
yes.
Here's the prep that's involved.
Have Mitch Holtis.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Ken. I feel like we've already seen that, but
follow Joe Buck or Kevin Kugler around.
Or you could just you're following new guys around for a week.
Matt Ryan is going to be in the booth.
Yep.
For the first time this year. Why don't we follow him?
Tony Romo. Tony Romo loves football more than you know.
This is just a golf documentary.
Yeah. What is Tony doing his off days? Well, okay, but now we're getting into full swing. So that's happening too. I don't know. It's that time of the year though, but at least we get a little bit of content tomorrow with the Big Ten Media Days, which I know we're excited.
And then it's the downhill slide.
Yep.
To football.
It is.
I think we've made it.
We have. I feel confident about that. What do you got going on today?
We're going to talk to Allan Bell. We're going to talk to Ellie French. She's going to come in from KETV, and he's got a big fight to call Saturday night. Al Bernstein.
Nice.
From Showtime. He'll be calling in. I guess I haven't looked into it a ton, but he's going to be singing.
He is?
He's got like the night before, he's got a concert.
Really?
That he's doing. So if you're Omaha, you're going out to Vegas this weekend, you can.
Does he croon?
That's what it sounds like.
Whoa.
I believe he's crooning for charity.
Wow.
Friday in Las Vegas.
All right. What time is he on?
He's on at 12:30.
Okay. And you're going to ask him about this, right?
I am. Yes.
I got to know. Yeah. I want to know what the Al Bernstein catalog is and how I get it. Can I get it on Spotify?
What's your go-to?
Yeah. How does he get a crowd going? And then he's got to have a signature close, because I'm assuming it's more than just one song.
Oh. Thursday night, 2 shows. He'll be doing music from the Great American Songbook, as well as blues and country selections.
This is fascinating.
No cover charge.
Even better.
Yeah.
Man of the people. Wow. Talk about a jack of all trades. Okay. All right. I'm going to look forward to hearing that.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Okay. Well, enjoy it, and I'll see you back here tomorrow then.
All right. Yeah, we're holding down the fort for
the
rest of the week.
We were left off the list. We I don't know. I don't want to get into the details of us not having the travel clearance.
Yeah.
But it's not pretty. We shouldn't divulge anything more, but Josh and I are on a list that nobody wants to be on.
It's Big Ten Media Days.
We're on the Big Ten Media Day ban list.
Gotta go big or go home.
That's right. And it's not in our wheelhouse right now.
No, sad. Maybe someday.
Someday. That's what I aspire. I aspire to be on the Big Ten media clearance list.
Those are the dreams when you're growing up.
And that's, it's good to have those dreams. And, one of these days you reach for that star and you just snatch it out of the sky, and all of a sudden it all makes sense.
Sat my kid down on my lap this morning and said, "Kid, listen up. Someday, if you do really well in school, you turn on those listening ears. Maybe you can go to Big Ten Media Days.
You'll get that email with a credential that says approved. And it's just like, it all comes together then. Everything just comes together. It's all in place, and you conquer the world. That's what happens.
Terrific. Goals.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. That's the crossover, brought to you by Ever Level Concrete. We will start a Tuesday show. A lot of breaking news. We'll get into it all next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The takeaway here is everything they did is worked.
And it's worked to the point that the attendance is up 8%.
That is
bonkers.
So, I mean, it's showing itself in every facet of baseball.
It's working.
Working on the field. It's working in attendance. I'm guessing, I'm not a TV ratings guy, but I'm guessing the postseason is going to have an uptick in viewership.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Heat advisory continues on Tuesday as the hot and humid weather sticks around. Expect partly sunny skies. Can't rule out a stray shower or storm in the late morning or early afternoon. Highs in the low 90s with heat index values approaching 100. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source by your mom's house.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duct Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting a spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
It started in Lincoln. Now it's in Omaha. It's Muchachos. At the heart of Muchachos is family. Muchachos uses new Mexican flavors with smoked barbecue passed down from generations. This flavor sensation is called New Mexican Barbecue Fusion. Come get your eat on and nosh on slow smoked pork brisket, chicken, queso, and mac. Try the fan favorite Hatch Mac Burrito with a craft beer or margarita. Muchachos is south of the Old Market at 1285 South 13th Street, or check them out at yomuchacho.com.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the Connor Happer Show. Connor Happer not in attendance today. We'll get to why momentarily. I'm sure you all know he's on his way to Big Ten Media Days with young Gary Sharp. They'll be in Indianapolis tomorrow and Thursday. They'll be we've been told we will get to talk with Matt Rule sometime on Thursday, so that'll be fun. Connor's gonna ask all the goofy questions. Gary's gonna ask all the serious questions, and between those two, you will somehow, some way get all the information that you ever wanted from Matt Rule, Jeff Sims, and others at Big Ten Media Days. I'm producer Josh. I think you know that if you listen to the show for any length of time, but I'm in a room all by myself for the next 4 hours. Connor wasn't sure if this had ever been done before. I'm pretty sure it has been done before by someone on the Zone. But the accolades are not important to me. It's getting you the content that you need between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. that I really care about. So look, couple housekeeping things, and then we'll get into some bigger things, as there's a lot of news breaking all around me, which is very nice of the various sports leagues to do, as I'm a guy who hasn't done this here. I've done 4 hours of radio by myself before, never really cared about the things that came out of my mouth, and here I do. So we'll try and have fun today. We will review the movies everyone's talking about this weekend. Barbie, we'll do that one segment. We'll review Oppenheimer. We'll talk to Ellie French is going to come in. She said, "You got me as long as you need me." So we'll have Ellie French in the 1 o'clock hour. Allan Bell in about, let's call it 45 minutes from Sportsline. He focuses on the gambling, but he's a jack of all trades. He can talk about anything, and I'm sure we'll get into some weird places together with Allan Bell at 11:30. 12:30, Al Bernstein from Showtime joins us. He'll be, I think he's kind of the face of the sport in terms of broadcasting right now, with Lampley calling it a career. So Al, he'll be on the call Saturday night in Vegas for Spence and Crawford. A couple of undefeated guys cutting it up in Vegas at one of the most anticipated boxing matches in quite some time, both in the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. So we'll get Al's opinion on what's going to happen Saturday night, and we'll do the usual. We'll do the odd news. We'll do the top 5. I'll tell you what to watch before we get out of here. We'll cross it over with whoever's here from Unsportsmanlike Conduct. It's the last week of July. There's not a lot of people in the building, but I'm hosting the show. I'm producing the show. From a practical standpoint, I just want to let you know, if you're listening on the radio replay at 1620thezone.com, those might be a little slower getting up there today. I just want to let everyone know that I'm a one-man band today, so give me a little grace with, hey, why isn't segment 3 up already? It's such and such o'clock. Like, hey, give me a break, Just one man here. The microphone works. I know many of you have asked that. But also, many are saying that the double feat that I'm doing this Tuesday, hosting and producing in a room by myself in July, is a feat greater than what we tried to accomplish last Tuesday, where Connor did his on-field MC duties at Warner Park, and he did them brilliantly. And he hosted a radio show, kind of, sort of. I mean, he did like an hour of radio, and then he ran away and came back whenever it was convenient for him to come back, leaving me to do all the heavy lifting. Many are saying this Tuesday's feat is more impressive than last Tuesday's feat. We'll put that up on the poll. But again, I'm producing and hosting, so I can't really I'm not that smart. I know I come on the radio and I wax philosophically about a lot of things, and you go, wow, that producer Josh guy is really, really smart. So he must have some great takes, but I can't type and talk and think at the same time. So we might just type out the poll questions together. And also, as I got my tabs open, got my 47 tabs open on my computer screen in front of me. I'm having trouble finding the Twitter one because it's stupid black X instead of the bird. I'm looking for the bird. I have not trained my brain that it's no longer a bird. But I don't want to do the 80th Twitter has changed and it angers me rant on this show. So I will spare you that and kind of fill you in on what is going on. I guess the most serious thing we should start with is LeBron James's son, Bronny James, if you haven't heard yet, suffered cardiac arrest yesterday. Now in stable condition. He's out of the ICU, but very scary situation in Los Angeles. Yesterday, a family spokesperson released a statement that reads as follows. Yesterday, while practicing, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest. Medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital. Now in stable condition, no longer in the ICU. We ask for respect and privacy for the James family. We'll update you when there is more available. And of course, the parents, LeBron and Savannah, who were the whole family was just on stage at the ESPYs. What was that, a week or two ago? A week, 10 days ago. They were all on stage together as a family, and now, you know, the 18-year-old Bronny James, 20th ranked prospect, about to be a freshman at USC, 6th-rated point guard in the class. You know, there's debate as to is that all genuine, but that's a debate for a different day. Today, you're just thankful that we still have Bronny James to do those dumb debates with when the college basketball season gets up and running again. Stable, out of the ICU following cardiac arrest is Bronny James. Not sure what kind of updates we'll have after that, but today, not the day to ask the follow-up questions that you're all thinking. I myself am thinking of them too, but you know, we wish the best for the James family. Wouldn't wish that upon anyone, and it seems like a catastrophe was avoided in Los Angeles yesterday. Damar Hamlin sending thoughts and prayers to Bronny and the whole James family as he famously suffered cardiac arrest on the field during that Monday Night Football game last year. So it leads a lot of people to look to their medical staffs. Are we prepared for something to happen? Or do we have the right equipment? And if not, how do we get it? So a lot of questions being asked in Los Angeles today. Out east in Boston, I am a Celtics fan. Good news for me, I guess. Jaylen Brown has signed the Supermax, the richest deal in NBA history. A 5-year, $304 million Supermax contract extension for Jaylen Brown. 5 years, $304 million. That's $60.8 million a year on average, people. That's a lot of money. Brown and management met Sunday evening in Boston, finalizing the remaining elements of a historic deal that keeps the two-time All-Star in Boston through the 28-29 season. It exceeds two-time MVP Nikola Jokic's $276 million extension in the Mile High City. Brown took a physical yesterday, so the release came out this morning that Jaylen Brown's going to be a Celtic for a long time, it seems. That's going to be a difficult contract to move if you wanted to move it. Jason Tatum is now where Celtics fans' eyes shift, as he is eligible for a Supermax extension next summer, as the duo in Boston looks to solidify itself. But where I planned on starting the show today is with the Big Ten. A lot of, we're getting ready for Big Ten Media Days. Connor and Gary will be out there both days. I think they've already landed in Indianapolis because for some reason they left before the sun came up. I guess that's just Gary forcing Connor to work in his timeline. Like, hey, I wake up at 4 every day. You can get your butt up at 4 and we'll fly out together. Maybe. I don't know. The Athletic came out with Big Ten win projections today. That's a very fancy graphic and chart. It's got all the teams. It's not just wins, it's X wins. What does X wins mean? It's the average win total over the model's simulation. What does all of that mean? I don't really know, but I will read the chart to you. It has Michigan projected at 10.5 wins this season and a 34.58% chance to win the conference title. That's a hair higher than Ohio State. 10.3 projected wins, 33.11% chance to win the Big Ten. Coming in third, Penn State, 9.9 projected wins. The conference title chances drop significantly, 14.74% for the Nittany Lions. And then this is when it gets interesting. Got a lot of Big Ten West teams piled up here. Wisconsin edging out Iowa for 4th most wins in the Big Ten. These are just projections from the Athletic. 8.7 projected wins for Wisconsin, 7.4 for Iowa. Wisconsin, the Badgers, significantly better chance to win the Big Ten over Iowa, 11.19% for Luke Fickell's crew, 2.37% chance for Iowa. Now I know. Follow up. Hey, what about Nebraska, Josh? What about Nebraska? Get to Nebraska. They produce so much revenue. Why aren't you talking about the Nebraska football team? Well, because of hashtag losing record. It goes in these projections according to the Big Ten. According to the Athletic on the Big Ten, that is. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Purdue, and then Nebraska. Projected wins 5.7. So it's right in that range with everybody else of, you going to win 5 or you going to win 6? Because there's a big difference in how both of those feel. The Athletic does give Nebraska a 0.22% chance to win the Big Ten championship. And then there's a third category, which I have not mentioned yet, but I will mention now because it is relevant to the conversation. Percentage chance to achieve 6 or more wins. Obviously, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, those 3 teams at the top, they're all at 100% chance. There is zero question as to whether or not they will win 6 games. I find that's a little interesting. I would have put it at 99.9 because I want to be sure. I don't want to be on Old Takes Exposed, but the Athletic fears nothing. Nebraska, 55.1% chance to win 6 or more games. That's what we're looking for. That's now it on the standings. It has Purdue ahead of Nebraska, but projected to only win 5.3 games. But they have a greater chance to win the conference than Nebraska. Just below Nebraska is Maryland, projected at 7 wins with an 87% chance to win 6 or more games. I assume Forgive me, I don't have the Terrapins non-con schedule memorized. I'm going to guess it's a bit of a cakewalk for Annapolis. But also, the other thing we were going to get to from the Big Ten this morning, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. That preseason media poll is out. It has Michigan number 1 in the East, 27 first-place votes, followed by Ohio State and their 8 first-place votes. Kind of thought that margin would be a little closer. Penn State did receive 2 first-place votes there in third, followed by Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Indiana. In the West, Northwestern projected to be last. I think we all wrote that one in ink. It has Wisconsin as the number 1 in the preseason media poll, if you're taking a bunch of stock into that. 20 first-place votes for the Badgers. Iowa coming in second with 16 votes. Minnesota did garner 1 first-place vote, so that puts them in third. It has Illinois ahead of Nebraska. So Illinois in fourth, Nebraska in fifth, Purdue in sixth, Northwestern in last, as we said. Connor and Mike Mike Schaefer, that is. Mike Schaefer, sort of talked about this yesterday. I don't think this is as easy a Wisconsin pick as people are making it out to be. There's bound to be growing pains there, right? I mean, we poke fun at our neighbors in Iowa a lot over here, but it's just a football factory. They just win in spite of everything that you see with your eyes. So why would this year be any different? I kind of want to lean Iowa to win the West, just because you got a lot of variables in Wisconsin that I don't know what it's going to look like week 1. I don't know what it's going to look like by the season's end. I just don't know what they're going to be. So I can't slam dunk pick them to win the West. Minnesota, sort of an Iowa light, right? Like they're becoming more consistent. But Iowa's kind of the model that a lot of these Big Ten West teams copy because they just win. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's not sexy. But Iowa wins. So today on July 25th, I mean, sorry, Mom, I'm kind of leaning Iowa to win the West. I think that little 3-team combo, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, I think they're going to beat up on each other. So it's very open. It's very up for grabs. Also, I mean, maybe it's the Kool-Aid talking, but I think Nebraska could finish higher than Illinois. I think if Nebraska messes around week 1 and beats Minnesota, then, I mean, why couldn't they finish third in the West? Why? Connor makes fun of me. If the team goes 2-0, all bets are off, but he's not as wrong as I point out that he is. I mean, if it gets rolling quick, who's to say that it couldn't roll downhill for Nebraska? Now, I don't think they're going to win the West or anything like that, but I certainly don't think it's a slam dunk for Wisconsin. I mean, I guess the voters don't think it's a slam dunk either. 20-16, that's a pretty close race, but let's stop the Wisconsin hype train. Just for right now. I want to see it before after a game or two, maybe I'll come on here and go, hey, I was dead wrong about Wisconsin. That baby's working, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year in the West. I mean, maybe, but not right now, not today. We're going to step aside. I told you we're going to review some movies today. I gave you a little sports, so, you got to give me some movies. We'll review Barbie. We'll review Oppenheimer. We'll do the odd news, top 5. We'll put up some poll questions. You can tweet at the show, at Happer Show, at producer_Josh. You can comment on the YouTube stream. As always, you can email me, Equitable Bank inbox, Josh O at 1620thezone.com. Today's lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll step aside. We'll come back, and I will review Barbie. It's why everyone tuned into the show today, right? It's coming up next. Connor Happer Show, hosted by producer Josh today on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Harrah's Council Bluffs presents Stained, September 10th at Stir Cove. Get tickets and check out the full entertainment lineup at stircove.com. Stir Cove is an all-ages venue.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
As a veteran, you get a lot of advice. But wisdom's harder to come by. A lot of people imagine themselves in our shoes without understanding the weight on our shoulders. The truth is, few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. You've got support. You can't control the chaos, but you can chart your way through it. Steady yourself. Take a breath. You're not alone. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, how about some interesting nature facts to get you outdoors? Did you know that Nebraska has more than 70 state parklands, more than 100 species of fish, more than 400 species of birds, and more than 1,500 species of native plants? We do. You need more numbers? Go online to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question for you. Planning to be on the water this season? Great. But remember, wear your life jacket. Keep in mind that most people who drown in boating accidents are not wearing theirs. It's like I tell folks all the time, life jackets, they float, you don't on the water, so why wouldn't you be wearing yours? Please think about that and be safe. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. If you were exposed to toxic substances in the military, a new law called the PACT Act may make you eligible for extra benefits and care. The PACT Act benefits veterans of the Vietnam, Gulf War, and post 9/11 eras. Learn more at va.gov/PACT or call 1-800-MyVA411.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health.
If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here. Hope to see you at Golf Flash, the 6th straight year we've done so at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. Get signed up today by visiting miraclehillgolf.com. Prizes of at least $100 on every single hole. It's miraclehillgolf.com.
Still trying to get that segment posted to the podcast page. I told you it's going to be slower today. Normally, I allow Connor to babble incessantly while I do things in the background, like post your podcasts, put up fancy graphics on the screen. Might be a little slower on that stuff today. Producer Josh, flying solo, the inaugural voyage for me on this station, at least. That's today. Connor on his way out to Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis, which I hear is lovely this time of year. That's not true. I've never heard anyone say, oh, you should go to Indianapolis. It's lovely. I'm sure the sports writers are sick of going there. They'd rather go somewhere else, somewhere more fun, somewhere where, the stores and businesses are open past 9 p.m. Indianapolis, a quaint community that you didn't know existed, that you never think about. The NFL stays king, just constantly releasing new news. The Pro Bowl games, yeah, you forgot about those, didn't you? Coming to Orlando next February, Camping World Stadium, which is a terrible stadium, by the way. February 4th, 2024 for the Pro Bowl games. That announced during the break there, so we'll try and stay on top of that. Jimmy Graham returning to the Saints today on a 1-year deal, not a 1-day deal, as many have mistakenly thought, but it's a 1-year deal for Jimmy Graham to come on back home. Sure, a lot of Saints fans very pleased about that. But I told you, I'll talk some sports, but you got to allow me to talk some movies as well. The movies made a killing at the box office this weekend. Barbie and Oppenheimer contributed to the best weekend at the box office in over 3 years. Pre-pandemic level is how we're going to spin that one, I guess. But leading the way was Barbie.
Josh goes to the movies a lot. Like, really a lot. He's basically there all the time. I guess we should let him talk about it. So now it's time for another installment of Producer Josh Reviews a Movie.
Yeah, I keep files. What of it? Ever since its creation in 1959, Barbie has captured the imaginations of young girls and boys around the world. Eventually, the doll became a symbol for two very different things. The doll, with its seemingly endless string of occupations, a symbol for women to see themselves in a myriad of roles for the workplace. But also the doll, with its quite literal, unachievable beauty standards, a symbol for bad as well. Low self-esteem, poor self-image. These are sort of the two ideas fighting themselves in the movie Barbie. Yes, that's right. The movie Barbie. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing too. Shouldn't this be a movie aimed at kids or tweens and be a simple story about the doll becoming human in some form or fashion? Maybe it's just an anthropomorphic doll. It tries to achieve some relatively low stakes goal, set up a sequel or a franchise, and make $1 billion. Yes, that's a very conventional version of this movie that essentially copies Legally Blonde, Clueless, and other movies of that ilk that please crowds, say nothing, and make money. But what Greta Gerwig, the director of this movie, has decided to do here, it's not only lofty, it's commendable. By shooting for something higher and dealing with more weighty themes, Gerwig has turned what should have been a cotton candy blockbuster into one of the most meaningful portrayals of what it's like to be a woman in the year 2023. And fellas, spoiler alert, it ain't always great. Barbie then folds in another unexpected ingredient. It carries those weighty themes on its teeny tiny plastic shoulders, but it also manages to be very silly, very goofy, and it sort of roams around in the world it has created. It feels free to do that. To do any one of those things successfully, that would be an achievement. But Greta Gerwig manages to pull off all of those elements simultaneously, creating a sort of high watermark for the very niche genre that I'm going to call girl power entertainment. for lack of a better term. And all that being said, I hear you. I hear you groaning. I hear you groaning in that truck. Girl power. Next, I'll be wanting breakfast or something. But it does make Ken the butt of a lot of jokes, played to absolute mimbo perfection by Ryan Gosling. I don't think he deserves an Oscar nomination. I think maybe some people got ahead of their skis on that one. I think he'll get a Golden Globe nomination in the comedy category, if you want my honest opinion, but he's definitely the best part of the movie. He steals every bit of every scene that he appears in. Yeah, men are used as a joke a lot of the times in the movie, and that's okay. We do a lot of stupid things sometimes. We literally sit down, Connor and I, at least once a week. It's probably more like 2 or 3 times a week, and just name dudes. And we love it. It's one of my favorite things that we do. Just sit and name old baseball players. Guys are kind of silly, okay? It's okay to poke fun at that. You don't have to be so sensitive all the time. It also makes fun of how women treat each other, how women fall into the traps of the patriarchy. Barbie makes fun of how the original intent of Barbie failed miserably. Barbie makes fun of how it became a symbol for corporate greed and capitalism. And if you're listening to this and saying to yourself, wow, this sounds like a really political movie, don't worry. It's incredibly entertaining, okay? I promise. I'm pointing out some of the messages that it has, but it's a very entertaining movie, I promise. You got to start at the top. Margot Robbie, a more perfect starlet for Barbie there is not. She is Barbie. The look, the wardrobe, the mannerisms. It might go down as the 33-year-old's most iconic role no matter what she does from here on out. She nails it, and keep in mind, she has already been nominated for 2 Academy Awards. She isn't just a pretty face. She isn't just that naked girl from Wolf of Wall Street. She can act. We've already discussed the pitch perfectness that is Ryan Gosling in the movie as Ken, so we move on to another co-star, America Ferrara, a person who I know her. I've seen her in things, but I don't know what those things are. Her and I miss each other a lot. I don't watch Superstore. I haven't seen the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movies, but I know her. I know who she is. I've seen her in things. I don't know what those things are though. She plays a real live human being who works at Mattel, and that, without spoiling any of the movie, she's the reason that the plastic world Barbie and Ken live in needs saving. She plays a mom at her wit's end with a teenage daughter who hates her. She just kind of wants to hold on to a little bit of childhood wonder as long as she can. She's kind of the heart and soul of the movie, actually. Her character sees the most growth throughout. She also delivers what I think is the single most meaningful monologue on what it means to be a woman in society today. I've never seen anything like this in a movie so accurately and heartfeltly displayed. She points out all the contradictions in what it takes to be a good person, a good mom who wants a career and just to feel pretty. And oftentimes those ideals are in direct competition with each other. I can't say it didn't make me feel some sort of way towards the end of the movie. But again, not all weighty themes. It's a very silly movie. The other dolls steal the show as well. Issa Rae plays the President Barbie. And I want to stop my review of Barbie briefly to say this. I want to be crystal clear. Look right here, cameraman. Issa Rae should be in more things. All the things. She's hilarious, incredibly intelligent, so effortlessly watchable. She's incredible. Okay, back to business. Kate McKinnon. She gets to do her thing as the Weird Barbie. That's her character's name, the Weird Barbie. You know the Weird Barbie. The one your mom let you actually cut the hair on. The one you caked so much of mom's makeup on that it wouldn't all wash off. The one you played with too rough and the hips sort of become displaced and the legs don't really stay in place. Yeah, the Weird Barbie. She's excellent. Michael Cera, who I have not seen in ages, by the way. I was getting kind of worried about Michael Cera, but he's in this movie. He plays Allan. Allan is a real doll that exists. You can look it up. It was very short-lived. He was advertised simply as Ken's friend. After America seemed confused by that label, he was paired with a pregnant doll, Midge, who was also in the movie very briefly. There's all sorts of little Easter eggs, little crumbs for fans of the doll and its history, things that would not have been included in the more conventional version of the movie that we talked about earlier. I'm going to butcher the name. I apologize. He's the guy who played Shang-Chi, Simu Liu. He's a great Ken, shows a ton of range. Didn't know he had that in him. Loved seeing it. Will Ferrell plays the evil Mattel executive. Priceless Will Ferrell comedy bits here. To say everyone understood the assignment, a complete understatement, because for this to work, it's a lot like a centipede. Every leg has to be moving in the same direction at the same time. If one stumbles, the whole thing can come crashing down. I was kind of skeptical coming in, and to be honest, I didn't even really know what the movie was about going in, and I'm the movie guy. I'm the guy everyone asks, hey, what's that movie about? Well, how was that movie? I didn't really know what I was in store for going in. I was really impressed when I left the theater. Moms, you can take your kid. They're not going to understand all the things that are going on, but it's funny. It's colorful. There's a bit of language, but it's all in good fun. I want to talk about this more when I review Oppenheimer later in the show. It's coming, dudes. Don't worry. But what we saw at the box office this weekend, it was not just two vastly different movies being released on the same weekend. That was kind of the draw for a lot of people. That was the fun of Barbenheimer, as it was called. It was like, oh my gosh, these movies are so different. Let's go see them both. It's not just that both of them were not sequels, that America was like, oh my gosh, two movies that aren't sequels. We got to go. That's not what this was. Whether you know it or not, it was two directors, two auteurs with incredibly narrow, incredibly unique visions who did not waver on what they wanted to do. They released their version of their movies, and audiences in droves, mind you, accepting those visions. You're seeing a lot of Barbie had the highest grossing opening weekend for a movie directed by a female. Well, you can word it differently because it had the 25th highest opening weekend of all time, of any movie ever. Like, we don't have to do the number one for a woman thing because Barbie's putting up numbers. Barbie made $26 million last night on a Monday. Picture what it's going to make tonight on a Tuesday, where I think every theater chain does like a $5 Tuesday. So it's going to make more than $26 million today. So studios trusting directors to bring their visions to life and being rewarded for it. I hope it becomes a trend going forward. I hope it gets copied because sure, it can blow up in your face. Big swings don't always work. But when that big swing works, it is an absolute home run. People are going to remember Barbie for years to come. If you liked Clueless, if you liked Legally Blonde, if you liked Enchanted from Disney a few years ago, I think you might like Barbie. I'm giving it the official Josh Odson review 4 out of 5 stars. It is the most meaningful encapsulation of what it means to be a woman in society today. It is goofy. It is silly. It is meta. It successfully executes something with this degree of difficulty. It is a marvel to behold. You have to see it to believe it. It's not the best movie ever. I know I'm kind of gushing about it, but just like I said, the simple version of this movie works and makes money. And I'm just shocked that they didn't do that with such a delicate piece of intellectual property like Barbie. Like, oh, the Barbie movie. I know exactly what that is before I ever click play on it. What? You don't, actually. Very impressive. Big swing. Knocked it out of the park. Did Greta Gerwig, Margot Robbie, and Ryan Gosling. Going to step aside. We'll be back. We will... there's been news breaking all day, so we'll see what's happening next. We'll talk to Allan Bell at 11:30. Lots to do on a Tuesday here on the Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson sitting in today on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Peerless Energy Systems is Nebraska and Iowa's locally owned and operated authorized solar air compressor distributor. Peerless Energy Systems provides products and solutions for compressed air systems, helping companies in manufacturing, food processing, transportation, auto body repair, car dealers, and more. Driving industry efficiency through service, support, and relationships, let Peerless Energy Systems help you increase efficiency with your compressed air systems today. PeerlessEnergy.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It is July, which means the countdown is on for the 6th annual 4-person Golf Flash Scramble. Go to their website today, miraclehillgolf.com/store, and get signed up. You do not want to miss it. Coming up Friday, August the 4th, it'll be a one beer Friday, 12 o'clock shotgun start, only $320 per team. Again, sign up today at that website, miraclehillgolf.com.
When your home or business needs a new roof, it's time for Omaha's Ferris Roofing Company. WeatherGuard Inc., owned and operated by NCAA Division I and Final Four referee John Higgins. Rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, America's leading installer of premium Da Vinci roofs, residential, commercial, roofs, siding, gutters. The rooferees at WeatherGuard Inc. are the fairest game in town. Request a free estimate at rooferees.com.
There's Unlimited Pro, Unlimited Obsidian, Unlimited Mini, Unlimited No Limit.
At Cox Mobile, we know other mobile companies have puzzling data plans. Shouldn't it be easier? That's why Cox Mobile has 2 simple plans. Choose between pay-as-you-gig or unlimited and change plans anytime. Finally, something that actually fits you. All while running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability. Cox Mobile. We're different because you're different. Cox postpaid internet required 5G reliability is measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Results may vary. Not endorsement. Wi-Fi not tested. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, how about some interesting nature facts to get you outdoors? Did you know that Nebraska has more than 70 state parklands, more than 100 species of fish, more than 400 species of birds, and more than 1,500 species of native plants? We do. You need more numbers? Go online to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question for you. Planning to be on the water this season? Great. But remember, wear your life jacket. Keep in mind that most people who drown in boating accidents are not wearing theirs. It's like I tell folks all the time, life jackets, they float, you don't on the water, so why wouldn't you be wearing yours? Please think about that and be safe. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Nebraska for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
The Zone's Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson hosting in his stead. We'll talk to Allan Bell here momentarily, but I like to play a game with myself in the studio sometimes. Is Sports Center live or not? You know, sometimes they just trot out an old recorded one from like an hour or two ago, and they're not really covering anything timely or topical. I don't think it's live today. This is just breaking from, Ross Dellinger, Yahoo senior college football reporter. Yeah, that's today's date. Yep, that's the time. Just a few minutes ago. Sources reporting Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, NCAA, working on an agreement toward a 4-game suspension over recruiting investigation. If you remember the story, essentially what happened, Harbaugh made alleged false statements to investigators with the NCAA. Sources tell Yahoo Sports. The agreement is an initial version of the negotiated resolution, not yet finalized. The resolution must now be approved by the NCAA Committee on Infractions. Could take several days, several weeks. Michigan's first 4 games, I know you're all wondering, they are all at home. It plays out as follows: East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers. That's very interesting. The first game Jim Harbaugh will coach this year, Saturday, September 30th at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. There you go. That's how you do it. That's a good host right there. You localize a national story. I just did that for you. The first game Jim Harbaugh will coach this year, Lincoln, Nebraska, Saturday, September 30th at Nebraska. Michigan likely to be 4-0. I guess the only real challenge would be East Carolina. Yeah, I guess Rutgers played a couple of teams pretty close last year, but that coming just minutes ago from, again, Ross Dellinger of Yahoo. Harbaugh's impending suspension is centered on an NCAA investigation into recruiting violations committed by he and the Wolverines staff. I'm just reading from Ross right now. I haven't read it myself, so we're all learning together. Come on the journey with me, won't you? The NCAA, yeah, I said it, enforcement staff alleged that Harbaugh was dishonest about the recruiting violations in his initial meeting with investigators. A quick resolution broke down in January after Harbaugh refused to admit he lied to the NCAA staff. The 59-year-old coach has maintained he didn't recall the events when first speaking with investigators, but that he was never purposefully dishonest. Michigan did not respond when asked for comment. The article goes on, kind of a hashtag long read. It says 3 minutes, but I'm a dum-dum, so it might take me about 5 minutes to read. You can read that at your leisure. I'm not going to read on the radio for all of you. Jim Harbaugh suspended, first 4 games of the season, not official yet, but what would hold that up? I don't know. So the sidelines of Memorial Stadium is the first time we will see Jim Harbaugh this season. I really want to thank everyone for breaking stories this morning because I prepped last night and I was like, I can do a 4-hour radio show. There's not a ton to work with, but I can do it. I've done it before. I'll do it again on Friday, by the way. Yeah, I can do this. Sure, why not? You got the terrible Bronny James news. Suffered a cardiac arrest yesterday. He's stable, out of the ICU. So thank goodness we got the best possible news there out of a bad story. My guy, Jaylen Brown, signs the richest contract in NBA history. That broke this morning. This Jim Harbaugh news breaks this morning. Everybody doing Josh Odson a ton of favors. Can't say I hate it. In fact, I kind of love it. We will talk to Allan Bell about all of those things and whatever else pops up into my head. Prep some questions last night, prep some questions this morning, because prep is 24/7, they say. Oh, yeah. And Connor will be at Big Ten Media Days this week where Jim Harbaugh will be in front of a microphone. That'll be fun to watch. We'll be right back with Allan Bell on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
Oh, yeah. Listen to that baby.
Oh, my God, that's Diesel, baby. Oh!
That's kind of hot.
That is awesome.
That's kind of hot.
That is legit Diesel, man.
That was sexy.
On there. Even backs down like a Diesel.
That's awesome. You can feel it.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides. From the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Heat advisory continues on Tuesday as the hot and humid weather sticks around. Expect partly sunny skies. Can't rule out a stray shower or storm in the late morning or early afternoon. Highs in the low 90s with heat index values approaching 100. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
In a metro area of our size, it gets kind of noisy. Freeway traffic to the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk of construction. A break in the action is only a few minutes away in Sarpy County, Nebraska. From Fontanelle Forest in Bellevue to Schramm Park in Gretna and all the miles of bike and walking trails in between, you can pop the pods out of your ears and relax with a symphony of a more natural variety. But there's still lots of shopping, sports, concerts, and stuff. Just saying. Click GoSarpy.com. Sarpy County. So near, so fun.
Sorry I'm late. I got here as fast as I could. What'd I miss?
What did you miss? You missed the stop sign at the corner.
You barely missed your little sister on her bike.
You see Mrs. Turner walking her dog? Luckily, he's on a leash, or you wouldn't have missed him.
Don't miss the point of this message. Drive the speed limit and pay attention, or you might end up missing all of your friends, family, and freedom. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Nick Handley here. You know, we are really lucky to have DJ's Dugout here in Omaha. For 30 years, DJ's has always been Omaha's own casual and comfortable iconic sports bar. There's no better place to watch sports and gather with family and friends. Huge media walls, great food and drinks, whatever the season, football, volleyball, basketball, watch the game at DJ's, and DJ's handles large groups too. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran-owned. Dig in at the Dugout.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online. Just go to forhims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Allan Bell. Sportsline. On the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
He is one of our favorite guests each and every week. He joins us in his usual Tuesday slot. He is from Sportsline. We thank them for loaning him out to us. He is Allan Bell. Allan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. You doing all right?
Oh yeah, nothing. I'm Allan. I've hosted other 4-hour radio shows before, but never here. This is my first time here.
All right, how's it going so far?
I mean, we're like 90 minutes into it. There's been a ton of breaking news today.
Yep.
So I think I'm doing all right.
Okay, I was going to say, like, first off, I have all the confidence in the world. Second, I was going to say, let's use the 24/7 Sports, like, the 5-star rating, right? Like, how would you grade yourself so far? Like, what star recruit are you 90 minutes in?
I think I'm a 3-star recruit with a ton of upside.
Ooh, that's a great pickup right there.
Maybe a little bit of a project, but I take to coaching very well.
There we go. Your coach's dream.
News just handed down. I guess we'll start there. Allan Bell, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh suspended 4 games for allegedly lying to NCAA investigators. What's your takeaway there?
Yeah, I mean, if they're suspending Jim Harbaugh 4 games, clearly there's something there that they found. They don't just throw those out, right? Especially with the NCAA, like, kind of back against the wall here. We just saw it with Tennessee in regards to them coming down, off of their, investigation that they've had. So, the biggest takeaway is that that's a big hit for Michigan in a year where Michigan has, real possibilities. And then number 2, the larger one, is that the NCAA is fighting not necessarily for everybody else, but for themselves in terms of, hey, we still, run this ship here, which I find fascinating. But yeah, man, that's a big suspension.
That was a P, ship with a P at the end of it. No need to call the FCC on us, everybody.
Yes.
I can't get a fine on my first hosting duty, okay?
Yeah, that would not be good. And especially if I did that, I mean, I'd have to take a 4-game suspension myself. So
the first question I was going to ask you before all this news broke, well, I guess we'll get to that. I do kind of want your take on Jaylen Brown being the highest paid player in the NBA right now.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Jaylen Brown is difficult to gauge, right? Let's look at this from a micro and a macro level, right? So first off, Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal basketball player. That being said, he's kind of a large reason why the Celtics didn't essentially have a shot to win a championship. I mean, as soon as he said, I need to be getting the ball more, I need to be shooting more, the dude couldn't dribble. He certainly couldn't shoot in the playoffs. I mean, that last series there against Miami, I mean, he was going 2 for 15, 3 for 18 from 3. I mean, it was just ridiculous. That being said, Boston kind of in a tough spot here because they've gotten rid of, 2 defensive type guys, and they're essentially saying, look, we're going for it all this year, which they certainly could win a title. But I mean, and it's also the going rate, and that was the macro that I wanted to talk about. Like, we're getting close to a player making $1 million a game. Like, we're not.
Oh, yeah.
Like, think about that. And that's what, an 82-game season?
Yeah.
Like, we're not far away from that. And I'm not saying that as a positive. I'm not saying as a negative. Like, the NBA, it's just what their contract money looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not far. Like, we're 2 to 3 years max away from that, which is just a crazy number.
Yeah, I think I did the math earlier in the show. He's going to make 60.7 a year.
Yeah.
But
like, we're getting
if it's all
close.
average the same each and every year, which it probably isn't.
Yeah.
But
it's like we're getting close to $1 million a game, man. Wow.
That's incredible. This was the first question I had written down for you, and I'm very excited. I need what was going on through your mind during the Brewers-Reds game last night where Ellie De La Cruz was robbed of a home run. The Brewers made fun of him on the scoreboard, and then he murdered a baseball.
Yep. Yeah. It kind of, you know what? It kind of goes to what we just said about Jaylen Brown. And, I need the ball. I need to be shooting more. And then couldn't throw it in the ocean. Like, have we not learned? And look, this is the most important thing that I can take away from betting in my wagering career and anyone else's, because we're all the same. You just shut up. You don't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, it is absolutely free to mind your own business. Like, they asked for it and they got it. That dude murdered a baseball, as you said. Like, and it's fitting. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all need to learn sometimes. Just shut up.
Moving to the NFL, a lot of people, a lot of teams, I guess, not people, rolling out the throwbacks. They're kind of all the rage. We've reached that point where everything old is new again. This time, it's kind of the '90s turn to be flipped on its head and be current and be cool. Seahawks down there in Nashville, the Titans rolled out some beautiful Oilers throwbacks. What's your stance on the glut of throwback uniforms the NFL is putting out?
I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love it. Like, I love throwback uniforms. Like, the Titans wearing the Oilers with the oil derrick helmet. Like, that is a good look, man. Like, the white, blue, and red. It's a good look. You look at Seattle's, right? I think that's a sharp look. You look at, like, the Philadelphia Eagles with the Kelly green.
Yeah.
Dude.
Great look.
Those uniforms, there are so many across the league that look really, really good. So, yeah, while the NFL can often do some dumb stuff, that you look at, you're like, what? Like, we're doing bowling in the Pro Bowl? Like, who cares? This one, spot on, dude. I'm all for throwback uni.
I am interested in your opinion because the Titans rolled out those Oilers throwbacks. They're beautiful. And a lot of people's reaction was, they should really give them to the Texans. Those uniforms belong in Houston. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, I get where Houston Texans fans, former Oilers fans are coming from. I totally get it. Like, having a team leave a city would be devastating, right? Like, anyone in St. Louis when they lost the Rams, I get it, man. Like, because that's you. That's your identity. That's, generations, right, that have been fans of that, and then they go, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, no, this just feels like blasphemous. But what are you going to do? Like, if you're, on the Tennessee side, like, well, the organization moved. Like, they hold all the rights to it, So it's tough, man. Now, I'll say this. Houston fans are not taking it nicely. Like, they've been calling into Nashville sports radio for about the last 2 weeks. And most of them don't finish their call. I think the FCC might be getting to their word choices as well. So, yeah, like, it's also wild when it's like when you're in the same division, when that city gets another team and you're in the division. So, like, there's already kind of that rivalry there. Yeah, man, it's fascinating. But I get it. Like, I totally understand people are upset, but what are you going to do?
Here in Omaha, we're beginning to turn our attention to Las Vegas this weekend for Spence-Crawford. You got a crystal ball that's telling you anything about that yet?
That's a good question. I don't, but I am also tuned in and ready to see. So that's all I can say on that one.
All right. Then we're going to have the Sean Murphy conversation, and I don't care. I don't care who else is listening that doesn't care about the Braves or the baseball or anything like that. You're tweeting a lot about the struggles of Sean Murphy, and I'm a Braves fan as well, sitting on my couch going, hey, that guy kind of sucks lately.
Yeah. It sucks because the guy is good.
Oh yeah.
Right? But it's baseball, right? Like, we all get it that, you hit tough spots. The brutal part, and for anybody who doesn't know, we're talking about Sean Murphy, the catcher for the Atlanta Braves. He hits fifth in the lineup, and he's basically a week and a half before the All-Star game, all the way to essentially today. I mean, it's 0 for 4 every night, right? You can attest to that. It's just 0 for 4, strikeout. And the problem became that Matt Olson hits fourth, who can mash, but then pitchers they figured out, they're like, well, just walk Olson and pitch to this guy because he's going to strike out, right? So it's been fascinating to watch in real time, especially for an Atlanta Braves team that, they're not afraid to move around their lineup. Basically, Ronald Acuna is hitting first, and then the other 8, we'll move you around. We're not afraid to do it. So, it's fascinating to watch that in real time. And we're all kind of, like you were saying, we're all kind of thinking the same thing. Dude, you've got to get him, at least move him back, or sit him and play Travis Deneau, because you're taking the bat out of the hands of one of the best hitters in baseball.
It's a lineup that gets praised for not having any holes, and then when a hole appears, they let their players ride it out, for better or worse. I mean, they let Harris ride it out at the beginning of the season when he just came back from injury. They let him just kind of live in that 9 spot and just kind of struggle until he busted out of it. So maybe that's what they're doing here. But as a Braves fan, I'd kind of like to see a team so willing to play with its lineup move him around.
Yeah, and especially the tough part too is that, your backup catcher was an all-star last year.
Yeah.
Right? That makes it also difficult. But I'm too in the fact that, when you have a good lineup like that, and I like the trust that's given of saying, you know what, you're our guy. We're going to let you get out of this. Work yourself out of it, because it's baseball. Everybody goes through it, right? But what happens when it reaches the point where it's all right, you're not working through this. This is not fixing itself. It's fascinating, man, because, and again, that's also a difficult part, is that, like you said, when you have a roster 1 through 9 where there really are no holes, when one emerges, it looks so much larger than probably what it is. And every other team's like, yeah, we're dealing with this with 4 guys. You only have 1? It just goes to show you how good the Braves team is.
Are there any baseball tips that you can give the people who might like a little extra in their sports watching this week?
Yeah, you've got the World Series of prop betting coming up the next 2 nights. So we got the Braves at the Red Sox tonight and tomorrow night, and you have options everywhere, right? So if anybody's out there, you're looking for something to bet, especially player props, Ronald Acuna, man, just sit on the guy, because I'm up playing the over 1.5 or over 2.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. It's my favorite bet in the world, because when you have a guy like Ronald Acuna, he might only get 1 hit, right? But he might score 2 to 3 times, and especially when you have guys like Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley and Matt Olson behind him, right? Even if he gets walked, if one of those guys drives him in, it still counts towards your bet, right? So, yeah, I think anything player prop wise, and stolen bases too. I wouldn't be surprised to see Acuna get up for that one as well.
Yeah, I think the Braves might find a way to mash in Fenway Park. I don't know, just a hunch.
Yeah.
I'll get you out of here on this. As a fan as a watcher of baseball, is there a place you want to see Shohei Ohtani play?
Man, that's an excellent question, right? I'm glad that we've kind of shifted away from everyone going to the Northeast. Seattle would be cool, just from the Ichiro aspect. I'd be fascinated to see if he went from what if he went to a super contender, right? If he went to the Braves or the Dodgers or the Astros, I'm not saying that's going to happen by any means, but if he went to a team that's really ready to win right now, what would that look like? Because I think we all agree, you don't want him to go to some team, don't go to the Nationals. You know what I mean? Where it's just oh God, there's no point of trade here.
You could have stayed in LA and been the same thing.
What you said?
Could have stayed at the Angels and
yeah,
the exact same thing.
And I think that you bring up the best point. What do you do if you're the Angels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Already how do you let that guy go? But even if he's going to go, you have to get something for him. I think it's fascinating because we just haven't seen a player like him, I mean, in 100 years, you know?
Absolutely. Allan Bell, you're the best, man. We appreciate the time today.
Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. You know what? You're going to end on a 5-star note today. Everybody across the country is coming to recruit you after this one.
All right. I await my McDonald's bags full of cash by the end of the show.
The Tennessee special.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
See you, bro. Thanks.
All right. Take care. That's Allan Bell of Sportsline. You can find him on Twitter or X, as I'm not calling it that, at Allan Bell 247. We do it each and every Tuesday with him right here in this time slot. We will turn our attention to the odd news. And it's pretty odd today. A lot of food-focused stories. Apparently, I was hungry when I was news gathering this morning. We'll do the odd news next on the Connor Happer Show. 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter at Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Ever walk through a door and see all the trucks? Yeah, it's kind of like that at Gretna Auto Outlet. Half-ton trucks, three-quarter-ton trucks, dualies, gas or diesel. Gretna Auto Outlet will be happy to show it to you. They don't call it truck heaven for nothing, you know. Stop in the climate-controlled comfort of the indoor showroom or online with the virtual showroom at GretnaAuto.com. Gretna Auto Outlet, open Sundays too, just north of Nebraska Crossing on Highway 6 in Gretna.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Here's what those savings sound like in dollar bills. Here's what it sounds like in quarters. And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency, a thing I totally understand. 1010, I am money, cha-ching, beep, boop, $sign.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We've all had this happen. Somebody says something about a thing, and then a couple of days later, you see an ad for that thing pop up on your news feed. Weird, right? Well, in an honest attempt at not being weird, Langfeld Overhead Doors would like you to remember them when you or your friends need a new garage door. You can trust the professionals at Langfeld Overhead Door to repair or replace your garage door. You can also trust them not to listen in on your conversations, because that's weird. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, how about some interesting nature facts to get you outdoors? Did you know that Nebraska has more than 70 state parklands, more than 100 species of fish, more than 400 species of birds, and more than 1,500 species of native plants? We do. You need more numbers? Go online to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question for you. Planning to be on the water this season? great. But remember, wear your life jacket. Keep in mind that most people who drown in boating accidents are not wearing theirs. It's like I tell folks all the time, life jackets, they float, you don't on the water, so why wouldn't you be wearing yours? Please think about that and be safe. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odson. Odd news, Odson. See what we did there? The odd news with Odson.
Odd news time on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone. Josh Odson hosting for Connor today. I'll do it again on Friday. Connor and Gary out in Indianapolis for Big Ten Media Days starting tomorrow. And a lot of people sending kudos my way. I appreciate it. I won't read them to you because I already have a high opinion of myself. I don't need to read my high opinion of myself to you. That does nothing for you. Bebo writes in on the YouTube. Jim Harbaugh suspended 4 games this year. Don't know which yet. Well, Bebo, I'm on it, man. We talked about it. You can, if you missed it, you can click play on those radio replays. Breaking news all day, all day. Do want to mention before we get into the odd news that Allan Bell appeared courtesy of that Zone hotline. It's powered by 42 Degrees. The source by your mom's house. People forget that. We begin the odd news. I guess Silicon Valley, maybe Seattle. I don't really know where Microsoft is headquartered anymore. I just don't keep up with it like I used to, if I can sound like an old man for just a little bit. Microsoft has created a pizza-scented Xbox controller. That's right. It is dubbed the world's first ever pizza-scented controller, and it is part of a marketing effort for the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. A lot of M's there. You got to stop when approaching an M and deliver it properly. Microsoft has designated custom TMNT Xbox controllers that have a scent diffuser strapped to the back in the shape of a pizza slice. There's 4 variations in total, but they're just part of a sweepstakes giveaway. See, I was so focused on the M's that I wasn't ready for the S's to trip me up, but hey, it happens. If you want to try and win a pizza-scented video game controller, you'll need to enter by retweeting a post on the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account. All the details right there. Right there. Microsoft regularly creates custom variants of its consoles or controllers. In the past, they did a Jordan-branded Xbox One X and an Xbox One that makes the Taco Bell bong noise. That's a very ironic choice of words this news article has decided to go with. The Taco Bell bong noise. The best comedy is unintentional, folks. Sometimes you can even buy limited edition custom branded Xbox consoles, this article tells you. Huge fan of the Turtles. I had a ton of Ninja Turtle toys growing up. My 4-year-old sees the commercials for the Ninja Turtles, and he seems Not overly interested like a dinosaur or a Paw Patrol, but just making a face almost like, what is that? What's that there? That's interesting. And that intrigues me because I think all fathers, we want to share the things we like with our sons, with our kids, with our daughters, our sons. And if I could share the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my kid, and because there's two ways that you do it, right? You either force it upon them and they love it or they hate it. But the thing with the Ninja Turtles is this is like a new iteration of the Ninja Turtles. So it's not me, hey, sit down and watch this thing that I watched when I was your age. Like it's different. Like you're sharing the cool young thing together instead of, hey, there's a guy in that foam rubber suit pretending to be a Ninja Turtle. There's a guy in that rat costume. Like just shut up and watch. I swear it's great. No, this is the thing the kid wants to watch. It's the new hip thing is the Ninja Turtles movie coming out here in that's like next week. What? It's the 25th. Man, that's exciting. New Ninja Turtles movie. All right. We moved to El Paso for story number 2. Residents complain of melting street signs. This is a thing I've seen on Twitter or X, threads. You take a picture of the melting street sign, you send it out there with no context or anything. They have had 38 consecutive days of triple-digit temperatures in El Paso, Texas, and some El Pasoans. Poll question: did you know did you know people in El Paso were called El Pasoans? We'll get that up during the commercial break because, as I said earlier, I'm producing, I'm hosting. I can't type a poll question, talk, and think at the same time. So I'm choosing to, make the poll questions during the commercials. So local TV crews went to film 3 street signs that were seen peeling in central El Paso. Despite the melting appearance of the street sign, the city of El Paso, which is responsible for the installation and upkeep of the street sign, says the damage is not heat-related. It's simple wear and tear. They're just crappy signs. Don't worry, they're not melting. It's not because the earth is hotter than it's ever been. It's because we're incompetent. I just love them coming out and going, no, that's not the reason. The reason is not the heat, because it's dry heat. The reason those street signs appear to be melting is because they're just cheaply made. The spokesperson also said city crews are scheduled to replace those signs later this fall. Couldn't possibly do it now. Too much going on in El Paso. Also, it might be unsafe to send those workers out there. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But finally, more food news. This morning, the latest flavor of Skittles was announced. We love Skittles. I can only have a few because my jaw gets tired after a while, and I'm just like, this is a lot of work for candy. I like low work candy. That's why I like those cherry nibs we were talking about in the crossover. Skittles announced a team up with French's mustard. That's right. Mustard flavored Skittles are coming your way. The candy-coated brains in the boardroom of one of America's most famous candies is teaming up with the nearly 120-year-old condiment company to create the unique treat ahead of National Mustard Day on August 5th. That sounds disgusting. Okay? That's a week from tomorrow? No. That's next Saturday, August 5th. I know it didn't seem right. Marketing director at Mars, parent company of Skittles, released this info today. Skittles is always looking to inspire moments of everyday happiness and deliver unexpected ways for fans to experience the brand. That's why we've teamed up with French's to create the first of its kind Skittles that combine their tangy mustard flavor with our iconic chewy texture to deliver this unique summer treat for National Mustard Day. For those who tried French's other Mustard Day releases, like its mustard-flavored hot dog buns mustard-flavored donuts, or even mustard-flavored ice cream can now grab a taste of the rainbow that looks a little different this time. Now, mustard-flavored hot dog buns, that kind of makes sense. Mustard-flavored donuts, no thank you. Mustard-flavored ice cream, gross, but I kind of get it. That's just kind of like a thing we do is, hey, we got this thing we're trying to promote. How do we do it? I don't know. Turn it into an ice cream. It's very lazy, like food trope, right? If you're looking of how you can get the mustard-flavored Skittles, you're going to have to do a little bit of traveling. Fun-sized packs of the mustard candy will be given away for free while supplies last at an in-person pop-up in Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and New York City. If you live outside those areas and have a hankering for mustard candy, don't fret. There is a online sweepstakes allowing others to partake. That's a terrible idea. So at Happer Show on Twitter, during the break here, we're going to throw up a couple poll questions. One, did you know citizens of El Paso are El Pasoans? Because I did not know that. I will freely admit that to you here. And would you try mustard-flavored Skittles? We'll put both of those up during the break. Still to come on the show, about an hour away from the great Ellie French stopping by. Al Bernstein's going to stop by in about half an hour to preview Saturday's Spence-Crawford fight. When we come back, though, another movie review. I'm going to review Oppenheimer. It's, I told you, if you let me review 2 movies, I will talk sports and do the normal Connor Happer show the other 10 segments, okay? You've been very gracious. One more movie review. We reviewed Barbie earlier. If you missed it, radio replay page, 1620thezone.com. Tell them Josh Odson sent you. It gives you nothing, but it makes my bosses happy, and that's really what it's all about, because I anger them quite a bit by asking for things like microphones and time. It's Connor Happer. He's traveling to Indy. You got me, Josh Odson. Instead, we will review Oppenheimer next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Attention homeowners, are you ready to unleash the power of savings? J-Tech Construction and Solar, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, has an exclusive offer. Purchase any 2 trades from our winning lineup of services: windows, doors, siding, roofs, gutters, and solar, and receive a 10% discount on your entire purchase. Click yourexteriorexperts.com to schedule your free consultation today. Double up on savings and save with J-Tech Construction and Solar, the official exterior experts of the Huskers. Click yourexteriorexperts.com.
United Way of the Midlands is celebrating 100 years of helping others in the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro. Since 1923, United Way has been creating a circle of support to help our neighbors in need overcome challenges and build a brighter future. Through funded programs and direct services, United Way helps meet families' essential needs, such as healthy food, safe and stable housing, healthcare, and more. If you'd like more information on how to get involved and support United Way, go to unitedwaymidlands.org.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Union Omaha, who will be at home 3 times over the next couple of weeks. This Saturday, the 29th versus South Georgia, August the 2nd versus Lexington Sporting Club, and then back at home again on August the 5th versus One Knox SC. And how about this for August the 2nd? It is $2 night. Burn tickets, domestic beers, hot dogs, nachos, Pepsi products as well. How do you buy tickets? Visit their website today, unionomaha.com.
As a veteran, you get a lot of advice. But wisdom's harder to come by. A lot of people imagine themselves in our shoes without understanding the weight on our shoulders. The truth is, few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. You've got support. You can't control the chaos, but you can chart your way through it. Steady yourself. Take a breath. You're not alone. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
As the world faces the challenges of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Lions recognize that kindness matters now more than ever. And Lions and Leos are finding ways to continue to serve our communities, including ordering food delivery for healthcare workers, holding story time for children online, and providing surgical masks to medical professionals and first responders. Empowering us to do more, Lions Clubs International Foundation has provided nearly $2.5 million in grant funding for COVID-19 relief. And that support continues to grow. For more than 100 years, in times of need, Lions always find a way to help those around them. And after we emerge from this, we will be stronger than ever. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson filling in today. I'm also producing. Those podcasts are getting out, though. I'm keeping up, which means something will go horribly, horribly wrong in the next break. Hopefully not, though. We're going to talk to Al Bernstein at the bottom of the hour, preview the next Bud Crawford fight this Saturday in Las Vegas. Our own, I think I can talk about this now. It's no longer a rumor around the building. I believe it is officially official. Our own, Jimmy Allen, after hours, 6 o'clock most nights here on 1620 The Zone. He's going to be out in Vegas on Fight Row, which sounds a lot more intense than it is. It's just Radio Row, but for Fight Week, I guess they call it Fight Row. Makes sense. He'll be talking to all sorts of illustrious guests out in Vegas. That's really cool. They'll be broadcasting live Thursday and Friday, if I'm not mistaken. After hours in Vegas. After hours in Vegas. Come on, what a pairing that is. But I reviewed Barbie earlier, and I told the dudes to be kind because Oppenheimer is coming, and that time is now.
Josh goes to the movies a lot. Like, really a lot. He's basically there all the time. I guess we should let him talk about it. So now it's time for another installment of Producer Josh Reviews a Movie.
There's a line in this movie. It's maybe halfway through the film. It's delivered by Matt Damon. the stress of, and this is a spoiler for your review, so don't worry. The stress of not only needing to create the bomb to end the war, but to do it quicker than the Nazis and the Russians. I guess, are there spoilers for Oppenheimer? It's a lot like Titanic. We know how this one ends, right? But it's the journey that's fun. The best memories about the best memories are making, whatever Nick says. But the stress, it's getting to Matt Damon's character, Leslie Groves. He says something that never occurred to me, but now days after having seen the movie, it's an idea that's still bouncing around my noggin, and there's a lot of space in there to bounce around. As his character is kind of breaking from that stress, he reaches that breaking point. He shouts, and I'm paraphrasing because there's a swear word in there somewhere, "This is the most important thing in the history of the world." And doggone it, I think he's right. I think he's still right. The success of J. Robert Oppenheimer and his team building the atomic bomb, and I think it is the most important thing in the history of the world. It had to be done. It had to be done before the Nazis did it. Failure was not really an option in this instance. Oppenheimer's, it sort of dives into those movie tropes of assemble a team and execute the mission, only without all the action scenes in between, which is fine. Spoiler alert, I loved the movie, so you're going to hear about it. But like in his previous works, Christopher Nolan, he doesn't do standard. Oppenheimer delivers about 3 different masterpieces inside of one film. It's a movie about the life before and after the bomb for J. Robert Oppenheimer. It's his life story. It's a political espionage thriller. It's a legal drama. But the through line that grabbed my attention most is when the movie chooses to deal with the morality of the project itself. Sorry, you're going to go, wow, that's really dumb of you, Josh, but I never really considered it. Never really considered the morality of the atomic bomb. It happened 40 years before I was born. It was over and done with by the time I got here. It was taught in history class as, hey, we did this to win the war, and we won the war. The danger of it was never really taught to me, at least in school. I'm sure a lot of people are the same. Sure, people died tragically. It's a terrible thing, but extreme times call for extreme measures, right? That's the way it was kind of talked about in history books, right? Oppenheimer, the movie, at its absolute best is when it's wrestling with those feelings. If this works, we're monsters. If it fails, the Nazis could get there quicker and destroy us. If it fails, we could destroy the world. There's a lot of, hey, when we hit this button to detonate this bomb, we don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen. And it was really viewed as feast or famine. Cillian Murphy is a star here. Perfect casting as J. Robert Oppenheimer. He isn't a star big enough to distract you from what you're watching. And this is a perfect example. Something we've discussed before on the show with Connor and me. When Matt Damon is on screen, I see Matt Damon. I don't ever see the character Matt Damon is playing. Matt Damon, absolute star. I'm glad Murphy gets a turn here to play a meaty, starring role, and he's got a screen presence about him that could make him a big star. So maybe people will stop calling him Scarecrow or that guy from That One Thing, because he is an exceptional actor, and it's a treat to see him land the role almost flawlessly. The biggest treat of the movie, though, for me, Robert Downey Jr. He plays Louis Strauss, a politician, a board member, whatever, somewhere in between those two, seeking a cabinet confirmation spot. And to do so, he's being debriefed on how Oppenheimer made the bomb and whether or not there were communist spies in the ranks. I had kind of forgotten how great of an actor Robert Downey Jr. is, because this is one of the few times he's played a serious role in the last 20 years. He's such a big star, and he's so synonymous with Iron Man that I had kind of forgotten what his skill set is, and I had forgotten that high ceiling that Robert Downey Jr. has. He is acting his ass off here. And I hope he gets some hardware to take home because of it. I think he's got a real shot at an Oscar here. My only fear is that Matt Damon is also going to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and they'll end up taking votes away from each other, and that'll allow someone else to swoop in and steal the victory. I mean, Oppenheimer, shoe-in for Best Picture nomination, absolute lock for Best Director. Cillian Murphy's going to get nominated for Best Actor. I don't know what's going to win. I don't know what it's not, but definitely going to get a ton of Oscar nominations come January, I guess is when they do that now. Emily Blunt, hopefully she'll get a little award circuit love too. Can't rule it out. And of course, the practical effects work is going to get a bunch of attention, as well as the technical, like the sound, the editing, those things that no one but me cares about. Of course, the whole film, it leads up to the test detonation of the atomic bomb in Los Alamos, New Mexico. It's why you bought a ticket. It was the selling point of the film. Hey, come see Christopher Nolan blow up a bomb on screen, a real bomb. No CGI used, and yeah, it delivers, to say the least. You'll want to see this movie in a theater with an excellent sound system. I think that's actually more important for this particular movie. A lot of people are going, oh, hey, are you seeing it in 35 millimeter? Are you seeing it in 70 millimeter? Are you going IMAX? Are you not going IMAX? I don't really care. Okay. Get the best sound system possible, because you want to feel that bomb go off when it's time. And also, there's a lot of low talking in this movie. It's very much a dialogue-driven movie, a lot of whispering, a lot of hushed murmurs. Hey, you think that guy's a communist? I think that guy might be a communist. Look at that commie looking over there at our party. He's a commie. I think he's a sick old commie. You don't want to miss anything. And that was actually my biggest problem with the movie, was all the low talking. I can't wait until this is on Peacock and I can watch it with the closed captioning on. I think I'll appreciate some of the finer details of the storytelling a little more. The other thing, while I'm just complaining about a great movie, seems greedy of me, but here we are. A lot of sex in this movie. I didn't need to see the father of the atomic bomb get his freak on. Florence Pugh. I don't know how to say her name, so I just overemphasize every letter in it. She's a beautiful woman. You get to see a lot of her here, if you catch my drift. And I understand. Kind of essential to the story. She's an important but minor character. I feel the sex was a little gratuitous. Maybe that's my American sensibilities showing with a British director and a pair of European actors at work, but I don't want to focus on the minor imperfections of the movie. It is a blistering 3 hours. I know a lot of people hear 3 hours and they get kind of scared off. The movie starts and doesn't really let up. It is a brisk 3 hours. And as I've said numerous times, you will sit there and watch 8 hours of Real Housewives. So just in a row, not getting up, not moving, not doing anything. You can handle a 3 hour movie. You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. But we've got actors and directors at the height of their powers absolutely flexing here. Christopher Nolan has heard your takes about having lost a step after Tenet, after Dunkirk. I love Dunkirk, and I was kind of surprised that a lot of people didn't like Dunkirk, but there's a lot of talk out there, a lot of chatter about, hey, so you think Christopher Nolan's still got it? Is he slipping? Well, he delivers you a reminder here about who he is emphatically. It will get the most Academy Award nominations this year. The only other thing that could really touch it is Killers of the Flower Moon a little later on this year with DiCaprio, De Niro, and Scorsese. You can probably pencil that one in for a good number of Academy Award nominations. Haven't seen the film myself, but I'm willing to take that intellectual leap with Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Martin Scorsese. Yeah. Oppenheimer, the rare, intelligent blockbuster. It is based in science. It's dialogue-driven. It lets the actors tell the story. No car chases, no scenes of a battle from World War II. It's a story about a man and the achievement that made him the most famous person in the world. Not a lot of people would be given the clearance or the green light to use this many stars and have them just talk for 3 hours. It's another instance. We talked about this with Barbie earlier in the show, a director being given the leash to make his or her movie, to stay out of the way and not compromise the vision, and it works. I think it's Nolan's best work since The Dark Knight, maybe the second best film in his entire repertoire. I occasionally find Inception too confusing to enjoy. Interstellar's kind of grown on me. I've become kind of fond of that movie. But no matter where you rank it, this is top tier Nolan. Oh, maybe we do top 5 Christopher Nolan later on this week, now that it's changed. I think I've done that list before, but yeah, there's a new entry in there. If you liked Interstellar, if you liked A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, or sort of kind of the behind the scenes science-y look at these important moments in American history, like a movie like Hidden Figures, you might enjoy Oppenheimer. I'm going 4 out of 5 stars for Oppenheimer. Yes, that's the same score I gave Barbie, but this is the best movie I've seen all year. It currently sits atop my list. Barbie, let's see, off the top of my head, maybe 3rd best movie I've seen. I really liked Mission Impossible. Like, if I understand, if you get a little behind, you look at the movie listings on your phone. I almost said in the paper and sounded like an incredibly old man. But you look at the movie times in your phone and you're like, gosh, we got to pick one. We're going to the movies tonight. What do we want to see? Do you want to see Oppenheimer? Do you want to see Barbie? Do you want to see Mission Impossible? I don't know. Mission Impossible is kind of old. Mission Impossible, very good movie. Don't sleep on that. Oppenheimer, 4 stars, best movie of the year so far. A briskly paced 3-hour marathon that feels like a sprint. Cillian Murphy, I think it's Cillian. I don't know, to be honest with you. He embodies the titular scientist, but it is a treat to see Robert Downey Jr. really act again. I didn't always get the movie I wanted. The main story was not the one I wanted. The main story that I wanted was dealing with the morality of the atomic bomb. The main story, I guess, would be the communism spy, not a thriller, but a legal drama that plays out while they are building the atomic bomb. But like I said, I didn't always get the movie I wanted, but what I did get was a blast. We are going to be joined in mere moments by Al Bernstein, Showtime Boxing. He is going to preview Saturday night's Spence-Crawford fight. Couple of undefeated boxers getting together in a fight that fight fans have wanted for years to come. We'll figure out how we got here and who's got the best shot. Saturday night in Vegas, Jimmy Allen will be out there Thursday and Friday night with After Hours. So that'll be a lot of fun for those guys as well. Al Bernstein previews the big boxing match next on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
The best programs that have the best bond between players, the way you recruited that kid when he was a junior or senior in high school, and the way you treated him and got to know him is the same when he gets on campus, and he's not just a number. Exactly. He's still that same person that you were in mama's front room eating dinner and trying to woo mom and dad or whoever that they could trust you with their son. You develop about a 6-year relationship and then hopefully a relationship for life as a coach.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly cloudy to partly cloudy conditions. Afternoon highs will be dependent on the cloud coverage. In Omaha, I'm tracking a high in the upper 80s or lower 90s. For tonight, partly cloudy skies with a mild morning low of 71 degrees. Off to a mild and humid start for your Wednesday. By the afternoon, a lot of sunshine with afternoon highs approaching the mid to upper 90s. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Play ball!
Registrations are being accepted until August 13th for Ultimate Baseball Academy's Fall Baseball Leagues. These developmental leagues are going into their 14th season and are the perfect blend of skills clinics, training, and games to help players of all skill levels to improve this fall. Leagues are available for ages 7 through high school. Register as an individual or bring your whole team at ubanabraska.com.
Ultimate Baseball Academy. Play ball!
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Saturday night in Vegas. It is the welterweight championship on the line. Errol Spence Jr., Bud Crawford, a fight a lot of people here in Omaha have been waiting for. You can watch it on Showtime, pay-per-view. This man will be there on the call. He is Al Bernstein. He is a boxing legend, and he joins us right now. Al, how are we doing today?
Good. Very good. Nice to be with you guys.
We appreciate the time. We know you're a busy guy. We will get to the events that you're putting on a little later, which are, we talked about them earlier in the show. It's incredibly intriguing. I did not know you had the musical talents that you do, but we'll let you talk about that here in a little bit. But I guess first of all,
cool.
The first
the fight might have some importance.
I guess that's probably why people are tuning in.
Right, yeah.
But we did give it a meaty plug earlier in the show. Spence and Crawford, how did this deal finally get done?
Yeah, boxing always has one fight, doesn't it? That is the poster kid for fights not being made. And even when boxing is making good fights, which it has been for the last several years, really been doing a much better job, there's always a fight that doesn't get made. And this was that fight for quite a while. And they took a run at it last year. They thought they were on the 5-yard line, but they couldn't get it done. And then finally, I think the interaction between the two fighters themselves just kind of paved the way for all of the business people to get even more serious and get it done. They created a potential 2-fight series. The loser has the right to call for a rematch. So we might even get 2 of these, depending on how it works out. And the fight was finally made. And I think everybody, both the hardcore boxing fan and casual fan, is really excited about it.
Both men, of course, top 5 in virtually every pound-for-pound ranking list you can find. Can you give us kind of some historical context or significance for this type of matchup? 2 undefeated guys, 2 pound-for-pound best?
Yeah, there is a considerable historical impact because, number one, we have the 2 best fighters of this particular time period. Number 2, in Terence Crawford's case, he has a chance to be the only male to win 2 undisputed world titles. So that's historic. And this fight already, based on we don't know how the fight's going to go. We hope it's going to be exciting, but no matter what happens in the fight, it's already reached a certain historical status because it's, in this particular era, it's one of the most important fights. And so, you can place it. I'm probably the right guy to talk to about this because over the years, going all the way back to when I used to call fights with the 4 Kings, Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, Duran, and then all the way through to Mayweather. I did Mayweather, Pacquiao, and I did lots of Mayweather fights. I can tell you that this is in the top 5 matches that I've announced in terms of significance.
Wow. Okay. I thought there would be a caveat, but no, there was not.
No, there's no. You were waiting for the however. Right?
Yes, I was.
There actually isn't one. I would put it in the top 5 of all the fights I've done, and because I went back and looked. It's funny. I don't remember it's hard to remember every one, but the big ones you remember. And I went back and looked at it, and I said this belongs in that high on the list.
We love that. Errol hasn't fought in 15 months. Is there going to be ring rust? Is there a way that we will be able to see it if it is there early on in the fight?
Yeah, he's had a couple of layoffs. The last time when he fought against Yordenis Ugas, he had a long layoff, and he didn't show any ring rust. And it's funny about today's fighters. They don't fight very often to begin with, do they? And for some reason, they seem less susceptible to it than we would imagine in most cases. Once in a while, it does become an issue. And it may in this fight. I don't know, but my tendency is to think it probably won't, because it didn't the last time he fought, and in this case also, it wasn't a layup because of an injury or because of like he had that terrible car accident. This is more the business side of things not working out. So I don't think that's going to be a super major factor.
You're talking to Omaha, so we're going to talk some Bud Crawford here. Fill in the blank for me. Bud Crawford wins on Saturday if he blank.
Well, he's certainly the most important welterweight of his era, and arguably the most important, potentially the most important fighter of this period, whatever time period you want to put on it. Because this is a super significant win. So it will certainly cement his place as a fighter of this era that will be remembered as, if not the best of them, one of the best. We just had this morning in Japan, in a way, produced an astonishing performance and helped make his case as the best pound for pound. But Terence Crawford, and I'm not a big pound for pound guy anyway. I don't really pay much attention to that, but no question this is going to mean a lot to Terence Crawford.
What do you make of the people who try and knock Bud for saying, well, he's never really fought anyone? What do you make of that?
You mean that Spence hasn't fought anyone?
Either. I think they both say this about each other. Like,
yeah,
Errol's never fought anybody. Oh, Bud's never fought anybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You can make a case. Both of them have fought good fighters, for the most part. I think it's a fair statement to say that if you look at both their resumes, they might have a few gaps where you would have wanted them to, and some of it was not their fault. Some of it was just, for instance, when he fought Julius Indongo, Julius Indongo had the other titles. So Julius Indongo didn't turn out to be a great fighter when he fought him, but that wasn't his fault. So I don't accuse these fighters, either of them, as necessarily cherry picking. It's just that they didn't end up with exactly as many upper echelon fighters as they might have liked on their resume. However, they have fought very good fighters, and I think I kind of push all that out the window anyway, because guess what? They're fighting each other, and each of them presents a challenge to the other completely unlike anyone else that they fought. So that ergo, whatever's happened in the past and however people want to frame their level of competition, at this point, they're in against each other.
Real quick, people talking about this fight this week are gonna say styles make fights a lot this week, because these are two different fighters stylistically. Yeah. Can you briefly kind of go over the styles of both fighters?
Yeah, it's very. Here's the interesting thing, right? Of course, each fight I do the Keys to Victory that runs on the show, and I did the Keys to Victory for this fight in about 5 minutes. You would think in a fight that has so many unanswered questions and so much riding on it that wouldn't be the case, but it was. It's very simple. Terence Crawford wants to control range in this fight. He wants to counterpunch effectively as Spence is coming in. And Terence Crawford, the way he produces knockouts frequently and knockdowns is by counterpunching, and then the other fighter provides some of the force to the punch. He wants to control range, counterpunch effectively, and not get caught on the ropes, and befuddle Errol Spence with not only a certain amount of movement, but also when he does switch. For Errol Spence, he needs to jab his way in, move his head as he's doing it so he doesn't get countered by Crawford, and get to the body as early as he can in the fight to slow Crawford down, and then later in the fight, presumably, from his standpoint, land a really big right hook or a straight left hand.
All right, enough with the preliminary questions. Let's get to the main event. You're a singer, Al? I didn't know this about you.
You didn't know that I did music shows, huh?
I didn't know. I learned it this week, and I am incredibly intrigued. You're going to be performing Thursday, the 27th, at the Piazza Lounge, 2 shows. So if you're in Omaha, you're looking for things to do when you go out to Vegas, this is one. No cover charge, too?
No, I've been doing. I did the first show like this back in 1987 for 3 nights leading up to the Hagler-Leonard fight. I had done music work before that, and I was having dinner with the president of Caesar's Palace before that fight, about 3 months before it. And Barry McGuigan had fought at Caesar's Palace, and his dad was a pub singer. And so they had him do a couple nights at the Olympic Lounge there. And the president of Caesar's Palace said to me, he said, "You sing, don't you?" I said, "Yeah," because I'd sat in with a lot of folks in Vegas. And he said, "Well, you're going to do 3 nights before the Leonard Hagler fight, just like Barry McGuigan's dad did." Well, I didn't have a band, I didn't have an act, but I got one, and I did it. And since then, during the 80s and 90s, I did it at Caesar's Palace and other venues. And then in the 2000s, I did it at the Mandalay Bay a bunch of times before big fights. And I decided to kind of revive it. And the Tuscany is a really wonderful location where I go and sing. And it's a charming music spot in Las Vegas. And I just wanted to make something fun happen.
That sounds like a lot of fun. What kind of songs are we going to hear from you? What are some of the standards?
Well, I do some blues, some country, plus the Great American Songbook. I'm a Great American Songbook guy. But I mix in, and I have a lot of specialty material. I've got some material that's been written for me, like the ESPN Blues from the days when I was at ESPN, and another song called I Want to Sing that talks about my dual journey of boxing and music. And it's going to be fun. I got some great musicians and a nice guest singer. And at the show, we're also going to be doing boxing trivia to give away special prizes that Showtime has provided to me. So it's going to be I think it'll be a fun evening. So any of the folks from Omaha that are coming out to the fight,
there will be a lot of them, Al.
Come by. They're invited.
Well, that sounds amazing. 2 shows Thursday night. That's at Tuscany Suites and Casino inside the Piazza Lounge. Al, in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the show, you're the face of the sport. When I think of a big fight, if Al's sitting ringside, it's a big bleeping deal. And the pay-per-view is Saturday night, Spence-Crawford. I'll be watching on TV. We got some guys from the station coming out down there to cover the fight on Fight Row. We appreciate the time, Al, greatly. Thank you.
It's very nice to visit with you guys, and please call on me anytime. This is a very exciting event. I know for your city, it's a great event because you have a native son involved in it. I love Omaha. It's one of my favorite cities. I've been there a number of times. And of course, I appreciate Bud Crawford's great ability. And it's going to be a fun night on Saturday night. And thanks for having me visit.
All right, Al, we appreciate it. Take care. Have a great call Saturday.
Bye-bye.
That is Al Bernstein, Showtime Boxing, the man, the myth, the legend. And apparently the voice of a generation, not just on TV, but singing original songs too. I was like, oh, he's going to get up there. He'll do a few Sinatra covers that everyone knows how to sing. But no, he's got his own stuff. ESPN Blues was written for him. I wonder if it's got to be on YouTube. I'll have to look that up after the show today. Al Bernstein, can't thank him enough for the time. Big fight Saturday night in Vegas. Oh, man. I get super nervous. I love watching boxing. But I prefer it when I don't have a guy or girl, I guess, that I'm rooting for. It's just, I am no fun to be around during a Bud Crawford fight because I'm so tense. Like I'm not cheering with every fight. I'm just the whole time I'm going, I'm no fun to be around. I don't want to talk to you during the fight. This is a lot like my rules for a Super Bowl party, a big fight party. Same way. I would like, because I like the sport, but I don't understand it enough to be able to just watch it and know what's happening. I need guys like Al and the play-by-play guy who I don't know. It might be Morrow on Saturday night. I don't know. I need them telling me what's happening for me to properly understand what's going on. So I'm sure Showtime, this is a long-awaited fight. They do a great job, and we thank Al for the time today. We'll take a break. We'll step aside, come back, do a top 5. We're going to do a lot of NFL throwback helmets, uniform combinations have come out this week. I will run down the top 5 of those next on the Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson filling in as Connor and Gary go out to Big Ten Media Days the next 2 days. You got me today and Friday on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
If you really crave the true Southern taste of down-home barbecue and soul food, Rib Shack Smokehouse is the place to be. Established in St. Louis and now in Omaha, Rib Shack Smokehouse offers slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, smoked wings, collard greens, and mac and cheese that you can't find anywhere else. Located on the southwest corner of 108th and Q Street and at RibShackSmokehouse.com. Rib Shack Smokehouse is bringing that unique Southern taste back to the Midwest. Call Miss Jackie to cater your graduation, picnic, or special event.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
I'm back. I'm still here. Big thanks again to Al Bernstein, Showtime Boxing, for hopping on with us here today. I believe he's going to be on the morning show with Nick Hanley later this week, so look forward to that. Al came courtesy of the Zone Hotline, powered by 42 Degrees, the source. It's by your mom's house. Top 5 today, NFL throwback uniforms. A couple distinctions. These are not the best NFL uniforms of all time. These are current NFL uniforms where it's also a throwback. Like you'll figure it out when we get rolling here. A lot of teams rolled out the throwbacks the last couple of weeks. Few more still rumored to do so. Very quickly, I would like to just dump on a couple of teams for their selections. The Indianapolis Colts. What the hell is that black helmet? Get rid of that. Don't like it. The Browns are. It's nice. It's nice. I don't have a lot of feelings towards it. The Vikings. What are we celebrating here? These were people clamoring for these old Vikings uniforms. They're fairly generic. Yeah, I said it. I don't need the Lions blue helmet. That doesn't do much for me. So come with me as we find out what does do things for me in terms of NFL fashion. That's right. Connor Happer leaves for a day, and I turn this into a movie review show and a show about fashion. I'm sure I will be welcomed back with open arms.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Number 5, and it's really more for the helmet than anything else. The jersey, whatever. The jersey's whatever, but that New York Jets look. Oh, that 90s Kelly Green Jets helmet. I never wanted them to lose that thing in the first place. They're reverting to the legacy white uniform is what they call it, inspired by the New York Sack Exchange in the 1980s. Mark Gastineau and Joe Klecko. Those are just great New York football names. Aaron Rodgers is going to fail to fill out a legacy white uniform. Seriously, what's wrong with him? He looks super thin, right? He doesn't look right. He didn't look old. I mean, his hair and his beard in Green Bay made him look old, but here he just looks thin and not ready to play football. So I'm sure Jets fans will be real happy with the performance that they get from one Aaron Rodgers this fall.
Number 4.
Number 4, number 1 on a lot of people's list. Give me the creamsicle. Tampa Bay Buccaneers bringing back the creamsicle uniforms from the 70s. It is a great helmet. It is a unique color across sports. A lot of people use orange as one of their team colors, but this is a different kind of orange, right? It's the creamsicle orange that we know and love. But I don't know. I'm kind of tired of hearing that this is the best. The pirate uniform for the Buccaneers is the best. So maybe I'm just zagging here. I'll admit freely that's entirely possible. What's happening right now, but I'm putting the creamsicle at number 4. A great uniform that I'm glad is being utilized. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tired of it. Maybe it's a little played out.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Maybe it's cheating a little bit, but number 3 on this list. Not yet officially announced, but you can buy them in stores in the Philadelphia area, I believe. It's the Eagles Kelly Green uniform. These are going to be a hit. I mean, first of all, it's a great uniform. It's a great color. You get that the helmet. It's not glossy. It's got that gray Eagles wing on it, not the silver one. It just brings back visions of Randall Cunningham and Reggie White, guys that I grew up watching, which that's an old man thing to say. But whenever you see a highlight of Reggie White, how can you not smile? I mean, I guess if you're like a Cowboys fan or a Niners fan and he terrorized your quarterback for years and years, but I see Reggie White and I smile. So I'm hoping I see these uniforms. They'll play in a nationally televised game and people will go, yeah, that's right. The Eagles are wearing their Kelly Green throwbacks today. So coming back from commercial break, here's some highlights of Randall Cunningham zigging and zagging all over the place and Reggie White piling up a quarterback somewhere. And hopefully I'll smile when watching an NFL game later on this year.
Here comes
Number 2.
Oh, Josh is doing a list about NFL throwback uniforms. He's going to put the Titans at number 1. No, he's not. He's going to put the Titans at number 2. It's a great uniform. Look, I could put this at number 1, and I would be confident in my convictions that that is the best NFL throwback uniform. That baby blue, that powder blue. I guess we call it powder blue because we don't want to talk about baby. No, you can't say baby blue. Does North Carolina own baby blue? You never hear it called baby. It's powder blue everywhere else. I guess maybe there's different shades slightly, but you get that oil Derrick. They've already made 1 million oil Derrick Henry puns on the Titans Twitter account. Gorgeous uniform. And yes, I know a lot of you want the stinky Houston Texans to have them, but they don't have them because the Tennessee Titans franchise originated in Houston. We don't let the Houston Texans have the records of the Kansas City Chiefs, do we? You know, the Kansas City Chiefs used to be called the Houston Texans. No. They don't get anything because they suck. They've never done anything. They're the Houston Texans. They had that lead over the Chiefs that one time in the playoffs and blew it because that's what they do because they're the Houston Texans. Okay, the Titans also had a lead on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game and blew it because they stink. But when I get to watch the Titans play stinky football this year, I'll get to see them do it 2 times in those beautiful Houston Oilers throwbacks. Very excited, which leads us to the number 1 currently utilized NFL throwback uniform. That's a very wordy title.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
And I'll be honest, I did not know this about myself. It's the Seattle Seahawks. I like that helmet. The bright green bird kind of scowling at you like, what are you doing? I'm a Seahawk. That nice blue uniform, kind of like somewhere between a royal blue and a powder blue, somewhere in between, maybe just blue. Can colors just be blue anymore? Does it got to have a name in front of it? The 90s era Seattle Seahawks, Steve Largent. I think Boz, did Boz wear one of these? Look that up real quick. Yeah, there he is. Oh my gosh. You know, we need more guys like Brian Bosworth. Not who act like him, just guys who look like him. Give me a weird old mohawk with something crazy shaved into the side. Let me wonder if you have all your mental faculties about you. Enter Brian Bosworth. Speaking of Brian Bosworth, if I can review one more movie, check out the movie Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. It's a treat if you like bad action movies. Brian Bosworth, not a character actor in this. He's the star. I think you can figure out everything else from there. But yeah, when the Seahawks rolled this out, I was like, yeah, that's a good uniform. I like that. I like that a lot. Haven't seen that in a long time. And then I'm doing this ranking, and I kind of said to myself, I think I like the Seahawks throwback more than the Titans throwback to the Oilers. Huh. Interesting. So, Seattle Seahawks, number 1 NFL throwback uniform. We'll take another break. 1 o'clock hour begins as it always does on a Tuesday. Ellie French, KETV Channel 7, joins me in studio. I haven't seen another human being in 3 hours, so I'm very excited to just talk to another human face to face. It's the Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson filling in today on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
If you live in West Omaha and you have household goods you're looking to donate, we've got news for you. The Salvation Army has a brand new West Omaha donation center ready to help. Check it out at 156th and Blondo in the parking lot of Bright Ideas Decorating. Like all our Salvation Army donation centers, this one will take in furniture, clothes, housewares, and more. And remember, when you donate goods, you're making a big difference for people in need. Stop by our new donation center at 156th and Blondo today. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked or uneven concrete, Everlevel can do it all with their complete repair solutions. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, and protect the surface, all at a fraction of the price compared to replacement. And better yet, they offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we
go. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, how about some interesting nature facts to get you outdoors? Did you know that Nebraska has more than 70 state parklands, more than 100 species of fish, more than 400 species of birds, and more than 1,500 species of native plants? We do. You need more numbers? Go online to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question for you. Planning to be on the water this season? Great. But remember, wear your life jacket. Keep in mind that most people who drown in boating accidents are not wearing theirs. It's like I tell folks all the time, life jackets, they float, you don't on the water, so why wouldn't you be wearing yours? Please think about that and be safe. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here. Hope to see you at Golf Flash, the 6th straight year we've done so at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. Get signed up today by visiting miraclehillgolf.com. Prizes of at least $100 on every single hole. It's miraclehillgolf.com.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. Ellie French. KETV Channel 7. Tuesdays with Ellie on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Not too shabby, eh?
Another human being has joined me in the studio.
What's up?
This is amazing. Ellie French, hello.
Hello.
Again, on a Tuesday, we find ourselves without Connor Happer here.
It's the least I could do. I had to be here because, oh my gosh, having to talk for that long on your own, that's rough. So I'm glad I could be here. And it's the norm. It's the Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
so.
Tuesday. We appreciate you.
Yeah, but I get to sit in Connor's chair.
Yeah.
So that was the perk of Connor not being here is sit I'm elevated now.
Yeah. Now I'm going to put you on the spot because many are saying, not me, but many are saying having to host and produce in a room by myself is a more difficult double job workload than Connor emceeing on the field and hosting a radio show last week.
Ooh.
Who you got? I guess.
Ooh, gosh, that is putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I feel like because of the fact that you could still carry the show when Connor had to be off doing his MC duties for the Storm Chasers, that makes it a little bit easier. Like, yes, he's having to run back and forth and do it, but like he knows the drill. He's done it. He does both jobs. Like this is a little bit more difficult because I'm sure like when was the last time that you had to do it on your own? Like you're probably a little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty. Luckily, there was a ton of breaking news this morning.
So that helps.
So it got me through. I was really only concerned about the first like hour and a half of the show.
Yeah.
Then it's all downhill after that.
Then you just talk about movies and whatever else you want.
Yeah,
So.
I talked about movies. Did you see Barbie?
I have not seen Barbie yet. No, and I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I actually thought about that.
You were working this weekend.
I was working. I really wish that I could have a normal 9-to-5 job sometimes for reasons like that because I'm like, oh, I would so go to like opening day. I mean, I don't think for either I would have necessarily gone to the midnight premiere or anything. I've actually only ever gone to 2 midnight premieres ever. The first one was Twilight, of course.
Okay. As you do.
Of course. And I had my Twilight shirt on, I think. And I don't even think I saw whatever the second movie is in the series is the one I saw. And then I think I stopped after that. Like I was like, I'm not into Twilight anymore.
My wife was a big fan of the books.
Yeah.
And she said, you need to come see these movies with me because this is something I love and I want to share it with you. I was like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. After the second movie, she said, you know what? You don't have to come on this journey with me anymore.
She's like, it's all right. I'll go alone.
I get it.
It's fine. I know. I just never, I don't know. I really do like the first Twilight. I still stick by it being a really good movie. But yeah, so that one. And then Dark Knight Rises was the other one, which I love. I mean, Batman, like The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies. The other one's A Wizard of Oz, which are just two
great movie
opposites.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Barbie and Oppenheimer. I guess you just have like your little bit of each. But yeah, I definitely want to see both. I would say that I'm more interested in seeing Oppenheimer though, because obviously I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, and I'm a history buff too, and it's great cast. So everything just really aligns with wanting to see it. So no, I haven't seen either, but I hope to soon. And I love movie theater popcorn. It's the best. So
that's what gets me through the door most of the time.
I know. Even though you're like, ooh, what is it now? Like, how much for like the big bucket?
I don't look.
I was it's fine. You just put the piece of plastic down and just don't tell me the price. Just give me the bucket.
Here's my card, sir. Just take what you need. Don't tell me.
And you gotta throw in a drink too, unless maybe you like snuck a water bottle in or something.
Okay, that's a way to go.
Yeah, I know. I used to be like, as a kid, I get it now that I'm adult and that I'm on my own and everything is expensive and all that. But I remember as a kid, I would always be so upset if we had to bring in our own snacks and drinks, or like my mom one time even like popped her own popcorn and was like, "Oh no, we're bringing this in." I was like, "No," because that was my favorite thing as a kid, was like getting the little kids pack at the movies, and so that was just the most offensive thing whenever I had to do that as a kid. I get it now, mom, though. I get it. So, but yeah, hopefully I'll be able. Did you see either of them? Barbie or
I saw
Oppenheimer?
both of them.
Did you do the Barbieheimer?
I didn't.
Mm.
I just can't. I can't get away for 5 hours anymore.
Yeah, you're like, one's enough.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did them both separately. I enjoyed them both. They're both two of the best movies I've seen this year.
Okay, good. Well, I would definitely want to see them. So,
I guess people are looking at us to talk about sportsy
sports,
things,
right? I guess. Yeah.
Nobody comes to me for that. But Jim Harbaugh is going to be suspended for the first 4 games of the season. That broke today. As a Penn State fan, does this delight you in some form or fashion?
Not really, because of the fact that it's like, it just always happens where when these coaches or these suspensions happen, it's always the first games of the season. And I mean, you look at their non-conference schedule and it's not
A little light.
it's very light. It's not like, I think Ohio State's playing like Notre Dame for one of their non-conference. Like they're not playing like a notable school, really. I mean, they've got East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers all at home. So no, from that perspective, no. If they could say, well, you're gonna miss, like Penn State and like the big games, absolutely. I will say, I mean, I think what ties into it from what I was reading is that he also has to be away from practices, which isn't great for them.
Ooh, okay.
But no, and that's the thing about it. Like I said, they always just have to miss the non-conference games anyways, and it's like for them, I still see them going 4-0 in those games. So
He returns to the sidelines against Nebraska
How
on
about
September
that?
30th,
how about that?
making that game an even bigger game if Nebraska can kind of hold up their end of the bargain, which to some extent they should be able to do.
Imagine like Michigan going 4-0 without Harbaugh, and then Nebraska somehow beating them in Harbaugh's like first game. What? Sorry, not gonna create any scenarios here, but I mean, anything can happen, but that'd be a little crazy.
So let's play this game. You're a journalist. Your coworkers at KETV will be at Big Ten Media Days.
Yes.
They tragically left you behind.
I know, we got left behind,
I
and that's
know.
why we stick together.
That's
why
right.
we're here together.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh will be going last on Thursday at Big Ten Media Days.
Ooh, so he's wrapping it all up?
Yeah, he's the last one to go. That'll be 11:30 on Thursday. What kind of questions would you
Ooh.
ask of Big Jim?
Well, I mean, that they're going to have exactly what he needs to say regarding, and that's the fact that he can't say much.
I can't talk about it. Open investigation.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to get swept under the rug as quickly as possible. And then you think of, like, okay, well, and I don't know, like, is it official that but there's reports saying but anything, like, I don't know if the NCAA has said anything like officially yet of like,
Right.
he
It
suspending.
is not official.
Yeah. But like, let's say that it is official and he does have to miss the first 4 games of the season, and, maybe is away from the practices, like we said. I think then it next goes to like, okay, so when you're away, like, who is in charge kind of thing. And again, he may not be able to talk much about that. So I guess,
I don't know. It's not official. We
Yeah.
haven't mapped that out yet. Yeah.
so then I think you just kind of go in with the same questions that you would have of anything. And it's just like wanting to repeat as back-to-back conference champs, and like just kind of the outlook on the season and the expectations and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I think Michigan, it's crazy because, when he got there, it was like there were a lot of struggles, but now they've really hit their stride within the last 2 years, and so they are the favorite. So
Yeah, they were they won, I guess, for lack of a better word, the preseason media poll. They're 20 first place votes or something like that on their side of the conference.
You're obviously going to ask
27, sorry.
Yeah, you're obviously going to ask, like, they have Ohio State at home this year, which is good for them. And I know that they play at Penn State, which is going to be it's a noon game too.
Oh, okay.
It's a noon game. It's the big noon on Fox, which I'm looking at right now. So I just think you kind of talk about those things. I mean, who's even going to be their quarterback? Like, I haven't thought too much about them.
I haven't done my Michigan research yet. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah. But I think you're not going to be able to ask that many questions about what's going on because they just are going to have exactly what needs to be said as far as we can't talk about it. It is an open investigation, blah, blah, blah.
Man,
So,
I really talked myself out of that being an exciting press conference to watch.
I know. I think oh my gosh. I think it's still going to be interesting though. Like, because here's the thing with Northwestern. It's like, no, everything's out in the open. There's so much stuff to be asked them and their new head coach. I just feel like he's probably so much going through his head right now and just like,
really, guys, you're going to trot me out there first?
I know.
Really?
I think he's going to be up at the podium. We're going to see a couple got to like loosen up the tie, kind of like, whew, get a little, because it's a lot. And you feel bad for him because it's like this is the first time that people are going to be able to like openly ask questions about it. So I'll be curious how quickly or how much people are able to ask about it. And then like how quickly they'll try and like shut it down. I think it's important though, like, because it is out there in the open, like, I think it's a bad look if you try and shut it down. Like, I mean, I think there's certain things you can say where you don't have to talk about it forever and like beat it like a dead horse, but it's like, it is out there. It is a reality. Like, just try to talk about like the differences in moving forward and like establishing a better culture and just kind of like what he brings to the table as a new head coach that's been thrust into this role. So I'm curious about that.
Congratulations, coach. You've made it to the pinnacle of your profession. You've landed a head coaching job, your first job. Now, why don't you go ahead and answer for all the terrible things that are happening at this learning institution?
Yeah, exactly. Which is, gosh, I mean, you just feel bad from that perspective. But yeah, I'll just be curious to see how that all unfolds. And I mean, is it 15 minutes to talk?
Yeah, I believe they're 15-minute windows. Yes.
How much of that time do we think will be spent talking about everything that's happened?
All of it, right?
Probably about 15 minutes.
Because nobody cares about.
I know
the games that Northwestern is going to play because they're going to lose them all.
Yeah.
Or the vast majority of them.
Yes.
Couple people chiming in saying JJ McCarthy back at
JJ
Michigan.
McCarthy
Under center this year. Thank you, Wes, on YouTube.
I try not to pay attention to that team from Ann Arbor, even though you should.
Yeah.
No offense, Michigan fans, but
well, let's do this. Let's take a break. I got some basketball questions for you. So I want your thoughts on
basketball.
Yeah, basketball.
Okay.
You guys, not you specifically, but KTV was lucky enough to talk to Coach Mack yesterday. Jaylen Brown is the highest paid NBA player ever.
Oh, I have a funny thing about that.
Oh, perfect.
Not a funny thing, but like a tie-in with that. That immediately when I saw the news, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So that's the tease.
Ooh, yeah. Come on back for that. Ellie French in with me, Josh Odson, Connor Happer. Nowhere to be found on 1620 The Zone.
Calm down, guys. It's just a girl. Tuesdays with Ellie on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
If there's a snail crawling towards me inside of the Omaha NRG studio, it's not going to be any other snail. That's just the one snail.
But when Nick and I bring a bag full of snails and dump them at your feet.
I'm not working with you two yahoos anymore.
snail pickup.
I'm not gonna work with you anymore.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly cloudy to partly cloudy conditions. Afternoon highs will be dependent on the cloud coverage. In Omaha, I'm tracking a high in the upper 80s or lower 90s. For tonight, partly cloudy skies with a mild morning low of 71 degrees. Also a mild and humid start for your Wednesday. By the afternoon, a lot of sunshine with afternoon highs approaching the mid to upper 90s. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Nick Handley here. You know, we are really lucky to have DJ's Dugout here in Omaha. For 30 years, DJ's has always been Omaha's own casual and comfortable iconic sports bar. There's no better place to watch sports and gather with family and friends. Huge media walls, great food and drinks, whatever the season, football, volleyball, basketball, watch the game at DJ's, and DJ's handles large groups too. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran owned. Dig in at the Dugout.
NRG Media Omaha has an immediate opening for a business manager. You'll lead all financial operations and human resource administration. You should be an experienced, detail-oriented business professional with a solid understanding of financial management and excellent back office and computer skills. You'd also be responsible for overseeing and providing backup to traffic administrators. Go to nrgmedia.com/careers for details and to apply. NRG Media LLC is an equal opportunity employer. All qualified individuals are encouraged to apply.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Back for another segment with our good friend Ellie French, KTV Channel 7. It's the Connor Happer Show. Connor and Gary en route to Indianapolis. Big Ten Media Days. They'll be there the next 2 days. Josh Odson filling in for you until then. I said we teased. We had a great broadcast tease for a basketball story. Celtics player Jaylen Brown signed the largest contract in NBA history today, and that made Ellie French think, what?
Yeah, it was a lot of money. And
Yeah.
just very, I don't know. Does it feel unexpected? Like timing wise. Like I'm like,
Oh, the timing.
Yeah, the
Yes,
timing.
absolutely.
Like I'm like, oh, okay.
I thought they were kind of let him dangle
Yeah. But
quite a
sometimes
while longer.
it's weird the way that some things just kind of linger and then others it's like, we'll just throw the bag at you.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
fine.
just do it. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. They're like, eh. So my thing with that is, oh gosh, when was it? 2018. I was at a conference for an organization I was in at Penn State called Awesome. It's Association for Women in Sports Media. And so they have a conference every year. And so I was at this conference and they had like a silent auction with really like a bunch of different things, obviously a lot of sports stuff. And they had a Jaylen Brown signed basketball. And I don't even know what year did he get in the league. Like, but I was just thinking they had that. They had like a Russell Westbrook jersey. But I was like, at that point, Jaylen Brown was like kind of younger. And I'm like, well, okay, so he was drafted in 2016. So he was like kind of younger. I was like, yeah, we'll see maybe how this pans out. Like, I'll bid on this basketball, the signed basketball from him that does have an official paper that says that it is officially signed by him. So I was like, I'll get it. And I got it for $30. So I got it for $30.
Hey.
Yeah, in a silent auction.
What a steal.
Yeah, it's so flat. So I've been moving it with me. It's crazy. This basketball's been everywhere. That was in Arizona, and I was living in San Francisco interning at the time. So it went from Arizona to San Francisco, I think then back home to Virginia, and then when I moved from Virginia to Mississippi, I went to Mississippi and then to Texas, and now it's like here with me in Nebraska. I don't even know. I just need to like leave it at my parents' house and just keep it there. But I don't know. I just like feel I'm protective over it. But at this point, because it's traveled so much, it's so flat. I need to like pump it up. But I do look at it, make sure it's like still in good shape. And I do still have the certificate for it. But yeah, I got it for $30. And I'm like, I just hope that this can pan out in some way to not like, I'm not expecting a lot of money from it, but I'm like, oh, okay, well, we'll see. But this is a lot of money for him. But he still has, I mean, he's been solid, but like, there's still a lot that is expected from him. I mean, it's like Jason Tatum is the big one on the team. And
yeah,
but we'll see. So yeah, I was like, we'll get this basketball and see how it kind of pans out. I don't even know what it's going for now. I think when I looked one time, it was like upper hundreds, no, not upper hundreds, like 100 and I mean like 140, 20, maybe 120
okay.
or 40. So.
Well, I have news for you.
Oh, okay.
On eBay, I'm looking at autographed Jaylen Brown basketballs.
Mm-hmm.
$350 to $400.
Okay, so I
You
feel like the last
can-
time I looked was like last year. So okay.
You can get 10 times or more what you paid for
Paid
it.
for it. Cool.
If you're looking to flip it. If not,
Yes.
respect.
Okay. And that's the thing is I'm like, well, do I cash in now and get that much? Or do I kind of wait and see? And
What if he forgets to dribble again and everybody hates him again?
I know. So I don't know. I guess it'll depend on how much longer I feel like bringing this basketball around with me everywhere. It is really cool though. It's a like green, it's not like a just generic basketball. It's a green Celtics basketball. And it's one of those ones that like you can't play with it anyways. Like it's like it looks
Okay.
like the $5 one you can get at Walmart. Like it's that. But it's nice because it's like I said, it's cool, it's green, it's Celtics. Except I feel like it was really hard for him to sign it. And or his autograph just isn't anything like special.
Uh-huh.
Because I think it's literally just a J and a B or something.
That's all I can make out.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at it, is just
So-
the J.
It's one of those things, yeah, where you're like, and I guess it's like with me, sometimes I sign stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm like, that was close enough. My autograph has gotten like lazier and lazier throughout the years. Like I used to do EJ French, and I think I just do like EJF now, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. Or sometimes it's like EJ and then like a bunch of scribble after. I'm like, okay.
If I'm signing my name for something, I'll do it legibly. But if I'm at Target or the grocery store or somewhere, I'll just
Oh, yeah.
wave my hand across that signature thing. It doesn't have to be anything.
I've done a line. Like, I do a line many times. And the other day, actually, I was, like, holding something in my right hand, so I was signing with my left hand, and I was actually attempting to sign my signature, and it ended up just being, like, a circle with kind of, like, a little tail, and I was like, "Yeah, that's good enough."
I've seen other people. I think I saw my wife do it one time where she just did an X. I'm like, you can't do an X on the. You got to sign your name. And she goes, no, you don't.
No, you don't. I don't care.
Just write anything. Nobody
I was
cares.
going drive through a coffee place, and they're like, yeah, people just do smiley faces." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I mean, that's kind of a lot, though. I'm like, a line is just so easy.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, an X too, like something like that. So yeah, so the first thing that your girl thought of when she saw the Jaylen Brown mega deal was, oh, that basketball. Like, I don't know. I mean, you see it like happen all the time. It's like, what if he gets the bag now and like he's just like, but hopefully not.
I mean, you're not a Celtics fan.
No.
So I don't imagine there's a lot of emotional connection
No.
to this basketball.
I'm just thinking from the perspective of like, can we see him be better? And then that, I mean, that's good
Ups the
pricing
value
though
a
right
little
now on eBay, but can that maybe even go up more? Like, and that's it's unfamiliar territory for me though. Like, I'm like, I got to talk to like Andy. He does baseball cards and
Okay.
is all that stuff. So I'm like, maybe he could help with this, or just got to talk to someone who would have a better idea. But for now, like I said, it's just traveling around the country with me and is a little flat right now. But yeah, but I have it, so that's all that matters.
That is. I'm on social media as the show's going on, and I just saw something creep across the timeline here that I want your thoughts on. It is July 25th, and I have seen a grocery store advertise that, hey, we just got the Oktoberfest beers in. And I don't like Oktoberfest beers. And I certainly don't think that July 25th is the day to roll them out. I know a lot of people who are fans of that are very excited about that. I love when they roll the summer shandies out there on Valentine's Day, but I got a problem with this.
As someone who doesn't really have an opinion, well, no, here, I should say this. Like, I should say I'm not like a diehard of the like summers or the October beers, the seasonals, I should say. I do still feel like it is too early. I think that September 1 would be a bit more appropriate.
Feels reasonable, right?
I get it. Like, I think I saw something too, and maybe they're aligning it with this. I think I saw something about how like the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks is supposed to be back soon.
Oh,
so maybe they're like, okay, we gotta let me just figure this out, because I saw that and I thought the same thing. I was like, are we really doing this?
It is literally 100 degrees out.
Yeah. I just stepped outside. I'm like, this is disgusting. Okay. Oh, okay. So we still got some time. It says that rumor has it, at least from the crazycouponlady.com.
Oh.
That it will be available August 29th.
Okay, so we got another month.
Yeah, so
before we got to hear about it.
That's more fitting, in my opinion, to bring out the seasonal stuff. And the thing is, I just feel like if you bring it too early too, then you just get too excited too quickly, and then when the time is actually there, you don't get to enjoy it. So
let the seasons be the seasons.
Exactly. Why are we trying to speed up time?
Yeah.
Let's just be in the present and continue to enjoy the summer shandies and the summer drinks.
Young people problems. They just can't enjoy the moment.
I feel that. Maybe I'm getting older then, because I feel like I am better about enjoying the moment now. Or maybe it's just that like I don't want to have to think about tomorrow, and I'm like, we'll be here right now. We'll just tomorrow is tomorrow kind of thing.
I like having something to look forward to.
Yes.
So I don't need that thing to be here right now.
Ooh, someone's tweeted at us that in their neighborhood Dollar General, there's Halloween candy.
This happened to me last week when I was leaving for vacation. The Halloween candy is up. It is out in the grocery stores. And look, I love candy.
I was gonna say,
I love candy.
let's take back everything I just said about being too early. I do like the Halloween candy from the perspective of like you get massive bags of it, obviously, that you can just buy in bulk right then and there. Do I feel like it's a little bit early? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But
far too early.
This I can get behind because it's like you go down the normal like aisle at the grocery store for candy sometimes, and I don't know. I just feel like the selection's just not as good if you want to try to buy in like a bulk and I don't know, put the chocolate in the fridge. I took that from my dad. He's got like his own candy drawer in the fridge, keeps the chocolate cold. So if you want to
that's a veteran move.
So that's like he needs that Halloween size candy like year round to continue to stock up the candy drawer.
Okay, I can understand that, but I tweeted on July 18th that the Halloween candy was back on the shelves. That's too much.
It is too early. Like,
and
I
it
will say.
wasn't just like, oh, there's one type that's out. It was the whole aisle, big aisle at the grocery store, full, stocked to the brim with Halloween candy.
Yeah, that's too much. Maybe if you have like a little tease of a section, like here's a little bit, okay. But if you're going all out, then it's too much. But it is too early. Like you said, let's just be in the present.
Yeah.
I mean, summer, and maybe it's because summer is my favorite season that I'm like, I don't want it to end, even though it's like whatever this weather is has been disgusting. But yeah, I'm very much like I can deal with it being summer year round. Like I like this. Let's stick with this. So
well, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, I was gonna stick
And
with you
helping.
till the end if you wanted.
Well, do you want to update the poll questions and we'll tell people what to watch?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, well we'll take one last break. We'll come back. We'll close the show down. Ellie French, Josh Odson, filling in for Connor Happer today on 1620 The Zone.
Ellie French.
I've been hearing the cowbell going all day.
I gotta have more cowbell. Tuesdays with Ellie on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
There's Unlimited Pro, Unlimited Obsidian, Unlimited Mini, Unlimited No Limit.
At Cox Mobile, we know other mobile companies have puzzling data plans. Shouldn't it be easier? That's why Cox Mobile has two simple plans. Choose between pay-as-you-gig or unlimited and change plans anytime. Finally, something that actually fits you. All while running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability. Cox Mobile. We're different because you're different. Cox postpaid internet required 5G reliability is measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not endorsement. Wi-Fi not tested. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Ever walk through a door and see all the trucks? Yeah, it's kind of like that at Gretna Auto Outlet. Half-ton trucks, three-quarter-ton trucks, dualies, gas or diesel. Gretna Auto Outlet will be happy to show it to you. They don't call it truck heaven for nothing, you know. Stop in the climate-controlled comfort of the indoor showroom or online with the virtual showroom at GretnaAuto.com. Gretna Auto Outlet, open Sundays too, just north of Nebraska Crossing on Highway 6 in Gretna.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Hey folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner. Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beers, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Connor Happer Show, last segment of the day. Still joined by Ellie French of KETV, Channel 7. Thanks for coming in here.
Here for the long haul.
Thanks for giving me someone to talk to.
Of course. Like I said, just because we get left behind doesn't mean that we can't have a good time here. We can't.
That's right.
Like, stick together.
That's right. Well, this is how we end the show each and every day. We update the poll questions that we ask on Twitter at Happer Show. Today we had 3 of them. We begin with the most voted on poll question of the day. Cherry nibs, yes or no? Are you familiar with cherry nibs?
You know, I didn't even give my input into that one because I was like, I feel like I know what it is, but I don't. Is it a candy?
It's a candy. It's made from the fine folks at Twizzler. It's licorice, but just little squares of licorice, not the full rope, and they're cherry flavored. They're delicious.
Yeah, I like the little. I'm gonna say yes. I like the little pop-ums. Are they my favorite though? Twizzlers? Nah.
No, not my favorite.
I'm more of a Red
Twizzlers.
Vines person. I know they're kind of different, but
I like.
Yeah.
Not an everyday licorice. But
yes.
I'll get a box of Red Vines every once in a while.
But yeah, I feel the nibs though, except those are so sneaky though, because you just keep popping them because they're so small. You're like, it's fine. It's like
Just having a couple here.
I ate the whole bag. What's going on?
76% of the audience said yes to cherry nibs.
Mhm.
Did you know citizens of El Paso are called El Pasoans?
Absolutely not.
No, I didn't either until I read a story that took place in El Paso today.
El Pasoans.
El Pasoans.
El Pasoans.
71% of the audience said no to that. And finally, a story from the Odd News. This is a real product that is being rolled out. Would you try mustard flavored Skittles?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
No, not a chance. Over my cold, dead body.
Do they just put stuff out like that though, just because they know like someone is gonna be like, like why not? Like I have to at least try it and see what this like, and then, but of course you're just gonna immediately regret it.
Or it's so gross that like, oh, some idiot on the radio will talk about that and we'll get free promotion.
Yeah. But how about that? How about that?
Their plan worked to perfection. 84% of the audience said no thank you to the mustard flavored Skittles that will be rolled out on National Mustard Day, August 5th, next Saturday.
I'm questioning that 16.2%.
Yeah, a lot of sickos out there.
They're
Be
the people
careful.
that like the bad tasting jelly beans.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
We know the type.
Yeah.
And then finally, we tell people what is on TV. Tonight we begin in baseball. Subway Series beginning at Yankee Stadium. 6:05 start on TBS between the Mets and the Yankees. Justin Verlander versus Domingo Germán. So I hate the New York sports teams, but that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I will probably be watching that.
ESPN Plus and MLB Network have Blue Jays Dodgers on tonight. That's the only game on MLB Network today. We have part 2 of the Oscar De La Hoya documentary, Golden Boy, 8 p.m. start there on HBO. Let's see what else we have. Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. He'll be the captain tonight. I don't know why he wasn't earlier, but today
He will be from here on out, right?
yes, I think so. It's a Leagues Cup game, which is not an MLS game, against the Atlanta United tonight, 6:30 on Apple TV. That's where all those games air. Man U and Wrexham are playing tonight on ESPN. I think it's like 9:30 start time there. I guess Wrexham is on this American tour because it's owned by Ryan Reynolds. And
Oh yeah.
very popular. They played Chelsea last week, and now they're playing Manchester United on ESPN. So that's a big spot for them. Non-sports things to watch on TV tonight. Amazon Prime has a new special from Jim Gaffigan. He riffs on everything from funerals to family to balloon rides. And there is 8 o'clock on Vice. We have Dark Side of the 2000s. It is an hour-long look at the downfall of MTV's music video show Total Request Live. You're not
TRL.
Yeah, are you old enough for TRL?
That was a little before me, but I know it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be interested in that. And finally, it is Shark Week, Ellie.
Dun, dun, dun. On that topic, quick, did you see that Andy was on vacation in Hilton Head and there was a shark attack when his family was on the beach?
No.
And he took video on his phone, like far away, but he took video on his phone and gave it to we have a sister station in Savannah, which is I guess close to Hilton Head. And they ran, and he did a Zoom interview with them, ran a story on it. And then, of course, we had to run it yesterday.
Sure.
But yeah, someone, a gentleman, I believe, got bit in the foot by a shark. And I think he said that they were hopeful that he was only going to lose a toe. But
oh, wow.
They are swimming in shallow water. It's warm. So people have to really be careful.
Keep an eye out. Discovery Channel tonight. 7 o'clock, night 3 of Shark Week is highlighted by Raiders of the Lost Shark, which chronicles the search for an elusive and colossal shark named Duchess.
Okay.
I hope they find her.
Yeah.
So that is what to watch tonight. Ellie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One show down. Connor and Gary will be in Indianapolis tomorrow. The big oil drum for Big Ten Media Days. We'll have it covered from every angle, and then I'll be here Friday all by my lonesome. We'll have lots of fun surprises for people on Friday, though. Ellie, thank you again.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Josh. Thank you.
We appreciate you. And John and Josh are both back. They're together. Nick will be with them, and we will do a crossover next.
Live from the Host Coffee